What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Terror Table, a horror movie podcast presented by the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. I am one of your hosts. My name is Mitch, and with me, as always, I have...
You got Kyle.
And I'm Boozy.
All right, so we got the full Terror Table here, Mitch, Kyle, and Booze. And joining us today, we have very special guests, a returning guest of the show. I believe you guys have been on once?
Yes.
Yes?
I forgot we were on earlier this year, apparently.
Yeah.
What a year it's been.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, well, that was a very popular episode, and I'm very excited to welcome you guys back here. So last time you all were here, we were talking about Chronicle and Brightburn. We would like to give a warm round of applause and welcome for Brent Hibbard and Stephen Fisher from the Let's Talk About Stuff podcast.
Hello, hello.
I'm punching the air right now.
Oh, yeah, I can hear it.
All right, so Brent, all right, so that voice was Brent. Stephen, can you say hello to our listeners so they know your voice?
Yeah, hi, hello. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Brent, you hold it back.
Oh, sorry.
God damn it.
I'll take it.
I'm sorry I brought him along, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's going to take that back. This is Stephen, hello.
Hello.
And Brent.
Hi, Brent. This is Diego.
Yeah. All right.
Wrong Diego. Shit.
Welcome back, Diego. Either way, we are talking today about the film Teeth. And the reason this film is going to be discussed on this episode today is this is actually the very first episode of the Druid's Hand Perks section episodes. And it is all thanks to Brent Hibbard, who contributed some money to our Kickstarter campaign so that we could make our short film. He chose to allow Stephen to join in on the conversation, and I was very excited about that. Well, to be clear, what happened was Brent said, I would like to actually donate my perk to Stephen because Stephen is a real horror fan, and I am not, is what you said. More to come on that because there's some recent updates on the LTAS canon. But I'm very happy that both of you guys are joining us today because this is going to be a lot of fun. Big fans of your guys' show. You've been on, I guess this is the second time, and I've been on your show a couple times respectively. But it's very exciting to have our entire shows all here representing.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, and I just want to give a quick heads up before we start this conversation is that though the film that we are talking today is presented as a horror comedy, I do want to throw in a little bit of a warning up top that we will be discussing a movie that includes multiple rape scenes, incest, and other various different forms of sexual abuse that could be upsetting for some. So I just want to make sure people aren't going to end up at the main feature and then, have to hear about things that they didn't sign up for to come on the show. Like, this is just one of those ones where the movie is about a woman who has teeth in her vagina. So I want to give everyone a little bit of a heads up beforehand. So I will have something in the show notes to pin at what time our feature presentation discussion will begin. But before we start talking about what we've been up to, we would like to hear a quick word from our this week's sponsors, which is Direct West.
The Saskatchewan Podcast Network is supported by Direct West. Are you a business owner looking for new avenues to promote your business? Direct West digital billboards are a great opportunity to highlight a new product, a new promotion, or anything else you'd like your customers to know about. You can get local expert marketing help for your business at directwest.com.
All right, now we can begin the episode. So, how are y'all doing? We have so Stephen and Brent of the Let's Talk About Stuff podcast. You guys just talk about stuff notoriously. You guys tend to talk about a lot of superhero stuff, comic books, pop culture, all that kind of fun stuff. But over the last month, during the Halloween season, you guys were diving pretty deep into the horror genre. So how has that been for you guys?
It's been fun. It's been an eye-opening experience for me, a brown eye-opening experience even. It's just passed from my top brown eye down to my bottom one like a laser beam. So Stephen is a horror fan for quite a while, and he's over the course of the past 5 or so years of doing the podcast, he's kind of put some of that stuff on me and given me some good recommendations, and I've leaned into it pretty hard this past month and change, especially, and did a deep dive. I've checked out all kinds of shit, like family-friendly stuff. I've checked out super old horror, like black and white shit. I've looked at more modern stuff. We did what was the most recent Well, I guess I mean like the most like modern stuff. It was It
And
Follows
you
Halloween
guys
Kills.
are very huge stands
that
of
type of
Halloween
stuff.
Kills. So let's make that clear right here. So, Boozy, you're...
Hell yeah.
Oh, we're
Hell
with good
yeah.
company then. Hey,
Kyle had the best review
Yeah.
for Halloween Kills that I've heard yet, and it's that it lets out a fart and it festers for 2 hours. That was one of the funniest.
2018 good. Kills farty. I don't know.
I like the smell of that fart.
Brent, so you, like you were mentioning just now, that you are becoming quite the horror fan. Like you're kind of seeing why people enjoy it so much and what kind of fun stuff there is to offer in the horror genre. Is that because of Morticia Adams' Badonkadonk in the animated series that you were talking about?
That's a good like 74% of it. The rest of it is just like quality storytelling. But yeah, if we're going, I mean, it all comes back to the ass for me. You know, she's got that donk. You know, that peach is on point. It's good.
It's why he liked Malignant so much, that donk.
Yeah, it's kind of weird where like like Malignant is like running
he's like,
donk fist
"Man."
at everyone. I'm just like, I don't know. Like my body was doing strange things. Like it's disturbing to look at because like everything is moving backwards, but also forwards. But also it's just like
that's
you know,
dangerous to live that kind of
Tudor
junk
first.
lifestyle, though.
Yeah.
And there's consequences, as we saw.
Yeah. You know, most people tend to
Full
live a
donk,
quarter donk at a time, but she was full throttle all the way, pedal to the floor.
Now, Brent, let me ask you, did you appreciate my Roman Pierce quote the other day over a text message that is a private conversation that no one else is going to know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I always appreciate Fast and Furious anything. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say what we're all thinking, but I will be the brave one to say it. Fast and Furious over Mad Max.
Jesus Christ.
Any damn day of the week. The entire
all right.
franchise over Fury Road. Even the worst one. Whatever your least favorite Fast and Furious movie is, that's 6 times better than Mad Max Fury Road.
It is so,
Put that
so
on an
nice
epitaph.
of us to let meth heads come on the show every once in a while.
Hey, who has the cleanest bathroom? Who has the cleanest bathroom? You come over
have
here,
the
you shit
cleanest
right
bathroom?
now. You won't
I'm
even
not following
believe it.
Is this a Mad Max?
Oh, I didn't realize we were having a cleanest bathroom challenge just on the
Yeah,
spot.
because if that's the case, then that's kind of different. Let's be honest. If we're talking bathrooms,
You're saying that you take better care of your bathroom
like-
than you do your bed, Kyle?
that's exactly what I'm saying. That's
But he shits in
I
both.
do shit. Well, I shit close to it, so it depends how you look at it.
Okay, yeah. There's some splatter.
Yeah, well, either way, let's
Yeah.
get the horror movie conversation going here. So I know, Steven, you're a huge fan. Look, once again, very excited that all of us could be here today because this is it's very exciting because we got a bunch of cool folks on the podcast today. And let's start with Brent. Do you want to give us something that you've been watching? Or wait, sorry, actually, fuck you guys, Kyle. You want to?
what a curveball.
Kyle.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
This is a roller coaster already.
Well, thanks for being
been
on the
fun.
show, guys.
Let's take care of ours.
See you next time.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Fuck you
2021.
too.
It's all about self.
It was great.
So Kyle, let's take care of the terror table first. Kyle, have you watched anything recently?
I have watched a few things.
Kyle's about to bless us with something.
Well, I was absent for the last episode, unfortunately, due to some unfortunate circumstances. But I did watch the flicks that we were going to chat about, or the boys did eventually with Cassie, and that, of course, was the Slumber Party Massacre from 1982, which is similar but different to the Slumber Party Massacre from 2021 that just came out this year, and they were both a ride. Actually, it was kind of fun to watch these films and then like kind of hold my thoughts on them, and then also actually watch Teeth, and then kind of like just look at those 3 movies that I had seen and kind of like think like, oh God, like this world's terrible.
Is that a weird trilogy for you?
It is a weird trilogy to think about because I was making my notes for this week's episode to talk, and I was like, wow, this fucking sucks. But not that I'd to take away from the quality of the films, but anyways,
They're
you'll
all
understand
funny.
more when we get there. That being said, all funny, yeah, for sure. I'll talk about the first one or the original really quick, just get my thoughts on it, what I thought of it. I had never seen this film before. I had heard about it quite a bit. over the years, just in, I don't know, it's been mentioned a lot in like the odd interview that I've been like watching every now and then. I think like this kind of gets talked up a bit nowadays in like a different context than was originally released. It kind of has that beautiful thing that a lot of great horror films do, where they sometimes age better, like a fine wine. And I actually really think that about this one. This one for me was like a really interesting NC-17.
That's got to be the first time that Slumber Party
like,
Massacre has ever been compared to wine.
I really liked this one. It's like,
Is it?
Yeah,
was
Kyle,
it because there
you
was
fucking
boobs?
toxic,
Well, the
disgusting
boobs-
man.
man, what can I say? Like, it wasn't.
Ever since they had that blocker on his computer so he can't search certain things, he's really getting desperate.
Well, these boys are right. Like, you know, you got to take advantage of the tools you have. And let me tell you, this is one of those films that really, the tool belt comes in handy for this one. Okay. They're, I don't know. There's a lot to appreciate about it. Like you're mentioning, Mitch, it's funny. Like, honestly, it has genuine humor that like really holds up. And it has this like, I don't know. It has just like that kind of like exploitive nature that you can't help but ignore, that I think is maybe what holds the film back. But at the same time, you can't help but like, I don't know, reinterpret and contextualize for a modern context. And that's kind of why the film is interesting to me. It like holds such an interesting, unique for what it was trying to say in 1982, but then it also kind of means almost something entirely different in 2021, which is why it holds up. I really enjoyed it. It deconstructs the male gaze a little bit, doesn't do it wonderfully, but it gave it like an honest effort, which honestly came off for me like mostly like fun and like engaging. So shout out. I really enjoyed it. I think like it's one of those films that I would actually recommend to someone if they were like trying to find a horror film that kind of like works into the slasher genre, but does have, you know, tropey stuff that I don't think is the same in say something like a Scream or maybe even like a Cherry Falls. I think it has some of those elements, but it presents it in such like a hyper and concrete way that works. So loved it. And then I'll just quickly blast this one off really quick just because it won't make sense if we come back to it. And that is The Slumber Party Massacre from 2021, directed by Danishka Esterhazy. Is that right? Okay, so this one, I was fucking scared. I was actually terrified about this one. And I have to explain myself. First off, in the first 5 minutes, there's a guy who sounds like Riff Raff, so I knew I was in for a treat. A little bit worried.
Have you heard Jody High Roller's new song about the dogs? It's amazing.
I have not heard Jody.
Listen,
Wait,
talk
why
about
are we calling
dogs.
Jody High Roller now?
well, that's been his nickname forever.
That's been his
but he
nickname
has,
for a while.
No, I
released-
know, but
He released a country song under Jody and the High Rollers, and it's all about his husky dog, and it's one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. It's so
Is it
good.
about his like fat friend? Because if so, that's sick.
We no, it's all about his dog. We literally listen to it all the time here, and it's so good.
Well,
Sorry.
I'll add that
Shout
to
out
the
Riff Raff.
I'll add that to the list. Shout out Riff Raff.
shout out Riff Raff.
But
I'm a Riff Raff fan now.
I'll be honest, because like I didn't get to jump on the episode and talk to you guys on the pod, but like listen to the episode and just see you guys' response in the chat. I was like, damn, these boys really enjoyed this movie. Nothing but positive praise for this film. Like, you know, that's cool. Doesn't necessarily
like cinema.
construct my opinion on a film all the time, but it definitely like makes me think, okay, like if this is something Boozy likes, that informs like maybe what I'll think of it to an extent. So I was fucking nervous.
Not Mitch though. Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, Boozy's more of a wild card than Mitch. That's why
That's fair.
That's why it's fun. Mitch, I can actually give an exact review of every movie he's ever seen. So,
His voice, and it's great.
No, when you say that, you're referring to Mitch, who said Aquaman is better than Die Hard.
yeah, and I agree.
Is this
Yeah.
on multiple
Yeah,
occasions?
see, there we go.
Is that right?
Definitely
Kyle,
agree.
A man who loves cinema,
Okay.
but he needs just a little more tightening up in the Joker department.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we live in a society where I was really scared to talk about this movie because Mitch was going to get really pissy on the show if I didn't like it. And so I was like,
That's not true at all.
What a society.
and so I'm like 20 minutes into this movie and I was like, fuck, this is not good. Like I really, really didn't like it. And not in like an offensive way, like, oh, this is like garbage. It was just like, I felt like the film had nothing to say. I was like, hey, what? Like, and I felt so stupid because I was like, trying to think, I was like, okay, where's this gonna go to make this film interesting? There has to be something here that is like at least like a hook or a catch or something that I'm gonna come away and be like, oh shit, like there was something to be said about that film, because like as much as I joke about these two gentlemen that I talk to every week, they're not that dumb. So there's clearly something that there was something to like.
That's why we brought you guys in here, to tell you.
So I was like, okay, what's going to happen here? And then thank God I didn't have to come and talk to you for today and tell you how bad this movie was, because it ended up being a really, really enjoyable time, because there is a clear... The film has a message and you get it right away, obviously, but the way it was presenting it immediately, I was a little unsure of where it was going to go. But there, without spoiling too much, and I won't spoil really anything, but the film does take a deliberate turn and deliberate choice on how it wants to present its message and go about, kind of, like I said about the original, reconstructing certain tropes and values and ideas in a really, really intriguing way. So this one also has my seal of approval. I would highly recommend the Slumber Party from 2021, Slumber Party Massacre, sorry, not to be confused with Sleepover, which for some reason I wrote down in my notes. But
Chris Hurtado, friend of the show.
Which, exactly, Chris Hurtado is famously a fan of.
Yeah, he literally did a 3-hour episode on YouTube about how Sleepover is one of the most underrated films in cinema.
And there's some crazy shit in this. Like, for one thing, the killer looks like the lead singer of Deaf Heaven, which was really funny. And
my God, he totally does.
And then, like, the one girl who looks like Rebecca Black gets, like, chopped up. Oh, wait, I shouldn't say anything. Anyway, so there's a couple really interesting bits about this movie. I'm not going to go into detail about it because, one thing, I don't want to take up too much time, and also we talked about an entire episode that I wasn't there for. But nonetheless, that's what I've been up to. Really enjoy both of them. Peep game. I also saw Dune twice. Shout out Dune.
But that's awesome, Kyle. I'm very happy to hear that you came around on it, because I know we had talked before we were on Shout Out CBC, that little program. Kyle and I talked on CBC for the noon hour in it would be Saskatchewan radio. Anyways, right. I was praising Slumber Party Massacre on that show. Like, I was saying, like, that's one that I would highly recommend people who are looking for something for Halloween. Like, I don't know, Brent and Steven, have you guys checked out the remake for Slumber Party Massacre yet?
Not yet. I still haven't seen it.
It's worth checking out.
I pretty much guarantee that both of you guys are going to highly fuck with it. It is great.
I think I'll like it, yeah.
I was going to say I listened to the last episode, and I put both of them on my to-watch list that I keep on my phone here of stuff to check out. So I'm looking forward to watching them.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've seen the original, but it's been a long time. I believe it was one that I found when I worked at a video store as like a teenager, and like finding all those like old horror things that you'd find or whatever. And I was like, oh, this has tits in it. Definitely
does it,
you know? Yeah. And so I was like, oh yeah. So I'm pretty sure I've seen that probably a few times over time, but I don't really remember anything
of
the plot.
There's more to the tits.
That's the thing. There's plot.
More to the tits.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you guys think of that one. Awesome, Kyle.
Yeah, some people have Nightmare Before Some people have Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I have Slumber Party Massacre. I'll put it that way.
I like
that. You could have Slumber Party Massacre 2.
There you go.
I haven't got there yet, but I'm dangerously close to it.
Starring Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, starring Andrew Dice Clay.
Actually?
No.
Close enough.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's an impersonator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Anyway. Cool. Well, let's spin it around a little bit. Let's go, Boozy, if you're all right, let's toss it over to Steven here to see what Steven's been checking out.
Would it be weird if I said no? Because then it would be just like an awkward silence. Of course.
Actually, yeah. No, fuck Steven. Boozy, do you want to go first? Let's go.
No, you can go.
All right. Well, on our show, we had watched for the end of our Halloween watching. We had done Carrie because Brent had never seen it, and it had been a long time since I'd seen it as well.
The original.
The original, yeah. And and so we watched that, and so you can listen to that episode or whatever. But I had mentioned on that show that I had tried the Rage Carrie 2, which I remember coming out, but I'd never seen it before, and I just knew like the cover of it, and that was it. And I'd seen the Chloe Grace Moretz Carrie remake at some point, but I don't remember it at all.
So bad.
So yeah, I kind of want to revisit that just to see what it was like. But on our show, I said that I got through half of the Rage Carrie 2 because it was just so bad that I it wasn't even fun. Like, it was just bad. But it had like interesting people in it, and it came out in an era like right after a lot of movies that I did like Urban Legend and like H2O and stuff. And so I was like, oh, maybe it's one I missed out on. And it's like, no, it's not. But I did want to mention it again because I put it on before Teeth. I wanted to give that all my full attention. I was doing laundry, and I was like, I'll just throw on the Rage again. And I'm glad I did because there's some interesting kills at the end. for one, the character Sue for the original is in this movie, so they got that actress back and everything, and she, spoiler alert, dies in a really like funny way. And then I loved it because this was made in 1999, and it has a lot of people from like American Pie, like Mina Savari and everything, and it has this like people from that era that I knew and other things. But
Zachary
it's
Ty Bryan.
Yes, from fucking Home Improvement, right? Who also is a piece of shit now, right?
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yeah,
Don't forget.
Tokyo Drift, exactly. Yeah.
Very
Famously from that. But I just wanted to mention this because everybody should just watch like the last 20 minutes. The part at the end of Carrie that she just goes berserk is the best part of Carrie, and then the same way in The Rage, like she goes berserk at a house party. And there's just one death that I want to spoil because everybody should go find it. And she kills someone by CD.
Yep.
She mind throws a shit ton of CDs at this girl, and they all just impale her. And it was the most 90s death I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, everybody should go watch this movie now.
Boozy, have you seen
The
The Rage Carrie 2? Because this is 100% a Boozy movie.
I haven't, but I
Okay.
also just wanted to say, like, I could believe that would happen if the CDs were, like, broken a little bit. Because, like, you ever broke a CD?
Yeah.
Those things were fucking
Yeah.
deadly.
Yeah, those are knives.
But just a regular one? Like, no.
Well,
It's just regular CDs.
shout out Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
I was going to say, it sounded like Hellraiser.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
Did they do a CD death?
Yeah.
is this like I'm so
looks like-
confused. This is one of the most insane movie titles I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's
The
pretty
Rage
awful.
Carrie 2?
This is fucking psychopathic. Okay, so is there a series called The Rage, or is it just?
They really wanted you to know how
It's-
mad she was.
This is a step up to the
Yeah,
street
exactly.
situation for sure. This is fucking insane.
Hellraiser 3, there's a CD Cenobite demon that literally shoots CDs at
okay.
people, and it's great. Like, I can only imagine that they're just like the double disc Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy, and the Infinite Sadness.
Oh yeah.
'Cause there's just so many. It's like those, like, there's got to be a VHS Cenobite or a VHS demon of some kind where they just get rid of extra copies of Jerry Maguire or like the Titanic 2 case. You know what I'm talking about? But
Shout out
yeah,
to
no.
Everything is Terrible.
Do you think that scene in Shaun of the Dead is
Totally.
like an homage to The Rage Carrie 2?
Absolutely.
But they use vinyl instead?
Well, I know Edgar Wright had said that it was The Rage Carrie 2 that inspired both Shaun of the Dead and Last Night in Soho.
Oh
I
wow.
hate that they
That
make
makes
you
sense.
say the whole thing just to get to Carrie 2.
I just
fucking call it Carrie 2.
It's fantastic.
Oh my God.
That's why I agree. It's dumb. It's a bad. It has like a colon in the middle. It's just a dumb title.
Boozy would
and
love
there
the
is
movie.
no.
This
There's no. Yeah.
this
you might-
kind of
you
looks up
wouldn't.
my alley.
It's,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, 90s trash. Like, it's
Yeah.
great 90s
It's-
trash. And like,
Yes.
there's a lot to be said about fun 90s trash. And I think The Rage Carrie 2 is one of the better ones in terms of, like, that movie fucking sucks, but it's like,
I think
it's so much
piqued
fun to
Kyle's
watch.
interest.
The name alone is just actually.
We should do
blowing
a
my
Carrie
mind.
double feature.
You should check it
Let's do a
out.
Carrie double feature
Yeah.
soon. Because, yeah, listening to you guys talk about, like, De Palma's Carrie, that's one of, that, oh my God, this is such a, shouldn't even be saying this, but I also, I think it was Steven that was saying, like, I'm not necessarily a De Palma fan. I actually, like, actively think that De Palma is one of the most overrated filmmakers of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's,
without a doubt.
but that, okay.
Kinda,
To
yeah.
lots of people, that's like you get laughed out of the room. But it's like, honestly, Carrie is my favorite De Palma movie. No, Carrie and Blowout. Blowout's amazing. But like Scarface is a piece of trash. Like, I love Scarface, but it's a bad movie. Like, it's not good. The
Interesting.
Untouchables is boring as fuck. Like, I don't care how many, like, there's like some we can't even get on the De Palma train here.
Can I just say that how many Carrie blankets do you see getting sold out of sketchy vans? None. How many Scarface ones? Millions.
How many posters of The Rage Carrie 2 do you see in MTV's cribs?
I was going to say, in rappers' houses, yeah.
It was like every single rapper had Scarface posters. I had a Scarface poster, and
That would be so much better if we just replaced it in the movie with just like the Rage
Carrie. It's like, all right, we're in T-Pain's house here, and he's got this fucking
it could be
just
worse.
framed up
Oh,
the
man.
Rage poster.
I had a free Wheezy poster, so it's fine.
Well, he's free, so you did your job. Kyle.
I did my best.
Yeah,
You did the Lord's
it
work.
worked.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for that, Steven. That is a dog shit movie. That's quite a bit of fun.
Go watch
Yeah.
it.
Boozy, what have you been up to?
I've watched a
Yes.
bunch of stuff.
Yes, let's hear it. I know Just say it.
I'm
baby.
sorry, you've watched a bunch of what? This is the wrong show for that, sir.
Oh,
Hey,
wow. Brent's really sensitive.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited for Brent
Stop it.
and Steven to realize, or like, sorry, Boozy. I'm excited for this whole group to realize that we all are like blood brothers. Like, like especially like Boozy and Steven have like the same horror taste. So it's like,
It seems like from what I've heard of you, yeah.
You guys
That's
love
why
all
we're
the
on the
same
same
horror
side
movies.
of this plane that no one else can see but us.
yeah. And Brent,
Am I still on the plane?
Yes, you're in my plane, in my heart.
Oh, excellent.
All right,
So
Boozy.
let's get it going because I got a bunch here. I'm probably not going to say them all because I'll get everybody else going here. First one, obviously, Hail Ratma.
Yes,
Yep. Obviously.
Hail Ratma, guaranteed.
That's a big Hail Ratma. I've heard a couple people talk about this, and I actually listened, Mitch, to your review of it from, I think it was last episode or the previous one. I just listened to it. Anyway,
You were there.
Hmm?
You were there for that review.
No, I know. I re-listened to the episode.
Okay.
So it's fresh in my memory. That's why.
All right. I was like, dude, were you not listening when we were recording?
Honestly,
That's mega rude.
Dude, the amount of shit we talk about, and then someone asks later, and I'm like, I don't remember talking about any of that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Same.
so VHS 94, I think that I definitely agree that the wraparound of it was kind of weak. I like that it starts on such a fast note and keeps going from there. I think I think two of the segments are super standouts that really carry this whole thing. The other ones are kind of there's an interesting one. Like there's one that is a very low budget, which is really cool how they did it, like homage to Doom. That I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then I think that the funeral or like the wake one was really good. And then
That's the Simon.
Ratman.
That's the Simon Barrett. I was talking about like how that short just feels kind of like, or that segment, sorry, feels like the ending of Blair Witch. So it's like you don't have to sit through all the bad stuff of Blair Witch, but like shit just starts happening at the funeral
It was really
home.
smart and fun, and I think there's something to be said that makes it even more creepier that everybody had that kind of weird 90s VHS filter to it. I think especially with like the Ratma stuff, it really helps that you have this more grainy stuff and your brain's kind of trying to make up what isn't, what you're not seeing, and then it's cutting out and tracking and stuff. I think that's all fantastic. So two of the segments aren't that great, but honestly I think that if you're a horror fan, just to check out even those two segments, or even just spend your time and just watch the full thing. I think it's well worth the sit down to watch. It's a lot of fun.
Totally agree. Have you guys watched VHS 94 yet, LTAS boys? Because
I have not, but when you said Hell Ratma, I thought, I typed in Ratma in the Just Watch app, and it didn't pull up anything, but it pulled up a movie called Ratman from 1988. Have you heard of this?
No, but it sounds great.
I don't. there's a little rat-faced boy.
Oh God.
On the poster.
that's a Boozy movie.
So it's Rat Boy, really.
Rat Boy. So I thought this is what you had been talking about, and because my mind was so focused on this, it completely blocked out the VHS 94. But no, I've not seen it. However, I will say, Hail Ratman.
Yes.
Yeah, what is Hell Ratma, though?
You got to watch.
You
It's
just
the
have to
first
see
segment.
Okay, it's on there.
You're
So,
you're
you were
indoctrinated
saying this
into
word-
a cult once you watch VHS 94.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
It's exactly what's
you
happening.
You said that, and I felt I was at a cult meeting, and I was supposed to start chanting that word, and I didn't know what it meant, but I was probably going to look around like I did when I was a Christian.
Yeah.
Well,
and in
once-
church when I was younger, and be like, yeah, we're supposed to say this,
Once
right?
you guys give us the $100 indoctrinating intro fee,
okay.
then
Yeah.
we can go to
Cool,
stage
cool.
one where you guys are allowed to watch some of it to get the idea.
Oh my God.
Oh, and then I pay.
There's different
it was
levels,
more
yeah,
to
and then you
get
got to
more.
get like 3 of your friends.
to VHS 2 or
I would
yeah,
say
yeah.
that like Ratma. I can't remember what the actual title of it is, but like as far
Ratman.
as the way to look at like the VHS movies for me is because most anthologies are so inconsistent, but every one of them has something going for them. Like, but so like I love the first segment in the first one, the succubus one. I think it's just called Siren or Amateur Night. That one's unreal. And then you have the cult one in the second one. And then you got Hail Ratma. Like, Hail Ratma was just one of those things where while I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, Boozy is going to love this.
Okay.
And it made me like it more because, like, I don't know. I loved it.
I want to watch it again, like right away. It was so cool, and it left such an impression. Where I was actually, it's kind of creepy to watch, but it's fun after the fact. I also will say I never would have expected to see somebody I watched on Vine in like 2012 be in a VHS film as like a main character.
Is that someone in Ratma? I never got onto Vine.
From the Succubus one, that main character is like, he got big off of doing Vine videos.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That's wild.
But Boozy,
what a king.
Boozy, after this episode, I will drop. I have like 40 Ratma memes saved in my phone, so I will drop them all towards you because they are great. Like
load.
There was a couple people who went as Ratma for Halloween, and I'm like, that's when you know that you have something special, though, because it was like that movie came out early to mid-October, and there were so many Ratma costumes, and it's not one of those ones that you can just throw together. Like,
yeah, it's not like an easy costume either.
So I'm visiting justwatch.com for the first time right now, and I'm on the Ratman page.
You're welcome.
And
Back on the Ratman.
Here's just a few titles for people who liked Ratman. They also like these films: Happy Gilmore,
love it.
Crocodile
Great.
Dundee,
Yeah,
My
classic.
Hero Academia, and Turner and Hooch. So
All great. I don't know Academia, but the other ones are classics.
also Raid of
12-year-old
Fire.
Mitch?
Yeah. Oh, and then Rain of Fire. Yeah, this is the Mitch. Okay, what website is this? I gotta write this
I think
down.
I should
So
watch
yeah,
Ratman now. Yeah.
we might need to peep Ratman. Sorry,
Yeah.
Is it available at places though? Ratman.
I don't know.
Ratman is always available in your heart,
Okay,
Steven.
so this is actually a great segue for something that happened when I first moved here. I had my friend, shout out Jason Hamill, showing my sister around town. I was just like, I was like, just show her a good time, take her around Vancouver, like let her, have some good drinks, some good food or something. And we got on the conversation of like, there's a lot of rats here. Like in Vancouver, there's rats everywhere, like all over the street. And then we saw a lot of squirrels, and it was like, would you rather have a squirrel in your house or a rat? Like you obviously your knee-jerk reaction is a squirrel, which, I say yes, but Jason's response was priceless. He said, I would definitely choose the squirrel because at least you know that he knows how to keep his fucking mouth shut.
Oh, wow.
That's saying
And
something.
I laughed for an hour.
Fair though.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, hail Ratma. I'll knock off a quick one, and then we'll make our way back around. So I checked out two brand new films that came out just this weekend. It's weird because since I moved, like I've just had so much going on that I just have not wanted to go to the theater. Like it's ridiculous that I haven't seen Dune yet. Like I'm the guy who saw Green Lantern on opening night. So like, what's my excuse here? But I've really had to force myself out. But on Halloween night, I went with Jason Hamill and our friend Lauren, shout out. We went and checked out Antlers, which is the new film written by Henry Chazon, Nick Antosca, and Scott Cooper, directed by Scott Cooper. The film is starring Carrie Russell, Jesse Plemons, otherwise known as Fat Damon, and child actor Jeremy T. Thomas. So this film it follows a school teacher, Julia Meadows, who's like convinced that one of her students, Lucas Weaver, who displays similar telltale signs of abuse that she was subjected to as a child, she shows concern for this kid, and her brother, Paul Meadows, is the local sheriff, and it's played by, Jesse Plemons. I keep wanting to say Fat Damon, and that's so mean. It's so mean. But like, really.
But when you say it, it's like, huh.
Well, yeah. I never want to be because I'm the last person who should be fat shaming. I'm not fat shaming. I'm just like, he does look like a more plump Matt Damon. But either way, he's the local sheriff who's been discovering mutilated bodies.
Can you call him Jesse Plumpins? Is that better?
See, that's even meaner because it's not as clever. It's not as clever.
Hey.
And it doesn't mention Matt Damon.
But anyways, Paul Meadows, Jesse Plemons, he's been discovering mutilated bodies in the forest that don't match up with any human or animal. And yeah, the film is shot in Hope, BC, which is just a beautiful mountain backdrop. And it's like, I had to drive past there 3 or 4 times, like coming here. Like I've been, in the last month, I've seen Hope a couple times, and not actual Hope, just the place Hope. I nowhere near any hope in my actual life. But the place is beautiful. But what I love most about this movie is like so I heavily fuck with Antlers. Like, I thought this movie was awesome, and this is one that I was kind of nervous about because I listened to a podcast as well, another horror movie podcast called The Faculty of Horror, and I know that they got a chance to see, this was supposed to come out pre-COVID, and they got to see like a screener of it or something, and they were basically saying that this movie was like unwatchable, like it was like so bad and so like brutal. And that really hurt me because I'm a fan of Scott Cooper, who he's made a known for himself with Crazy Heart, Black Mass, Hostiles, and Out of the Furnace. His shit isn't for everybody. I think that like everyone could probably, even if you didn't like it, Crazy Heart's a great movie. Like, that movie cleaned up at the Oscars. It's one of those things where, unfortunately, he's probably going to live in the shadow of his first feature for the rest of his life because his first feature is that fucking good. It's just an amazing Jeff Bridges film. But then a lot of people, like, I didn't hate Black Mass as much as everyone else did, but it's definitely his weakest movie. But I was curious to see I'm always curious to know what these directors like this are going to do when they take a stab at horror, because usually these directors, they go right for horror, or like, people start their careers in horror. It's not the other way around. So it's really interesting to me to know that he was taking a stab at a horror movie, and his movies are just really always rich with atmosphere, which this one is as well. And there's just a ton of tension and genuine scares. I think this movie has some of the best creature effects I've seen in a long time. It's one of those things where a lot of it's practical, but there's definitely like CG and VFX. But I think that all of it looked good. Like, I thought all of it looked really, really good. There's one of this, like, there's like this scene where it's kind of a transformation scene, and it is just fucking brutal in like a very positive way. I thought it was so disturbing, and it's just, the movie's very nihilistic. It's really dark. It's definitely one that I can understand is not going to be for everyone, but I think that what stood out to me most about this movie in particular is I've been reading Stephen King's memoir on writing. I actually just finished it today. But it's his book all about like just the craft and like where he started and where he ended up, like the movie, I think the book came out in 1997. So he's made a lot of stuff since then, but there's just so many things in the script of this movie that oozed Stephen King, and like the best parts of Stephen King. It's just leaving just enough breadcrumbs for people to be able to follow the story and for you to discover the mystery with the characters. And I think that's also another thing that's going to deter some people. Like, I know some people who really didn't like this movie, and I think it's one of those ones where it kind of makes you work. Like, you gotta be on board for the movie. You gotta actually pay attention. It may seem so simple, and you may think that it's like they don't answer the questions that they open, but they do. I've read a lot of reviews for this one, because I was like, when I walked out of it, I was like, my jaw was dragging on the floor. Like, I saw with Jason, Jason is a harsh critic, and we all loved it. The three of us, we really, really loved it. And I think it's one of the best folk horror movies that's come out in a long time. And it's one that is definitely, without a doubt, going to be talked about at the end of the year for me. So it's one that I definitely recommend checking out. I think it's super thrilling, it's dark, and without a doubt, one of the best horror movies this year. So that's Antlers.
Sweet.
Wow.
I'm honestly really excited to check this out, because you've been talking about it a lot.
I did the thing, which I've rarely done this. I think the last time I did it was Annihilation, where I walked out of the theater and I immediately texted Boozy and I said, get the fuck out and see Antlers. Like, Boozy's going to like this one, just because if you're a creature feature fan, it's so much more than just a creature feature, but the creature elements, they do not skimp on. There is a lot of this thing, and I see some odes to Alien in it, and I don't know, I thought it was just a moody, dark, atmospheric, tremendous horror movie, so I really, really loved it. And I'm also a big fan of Nick Antosca, he originally wrote the short story that it's based off of, which is called The Quiet Boy. And he's done like the Channel Zero TV series. I don't know if you guys ever checked that out, but it's very good. And I loved Antlers. So check that out. Get on out. That's what the kids are saying, I think.
Mitch, I actually have a question for you. You were talking about Antlers, and you don't think Jesse Plumpins is funnier because his name is Jesse. His name is not Matt Damon. His name is Jesse Plemons.
It's
and
clever wordplay.
I think, honestly, I plussed up this fucking nickname, this hateful-ass nickname.
I think Fat
You've been
Damon's
sitting
pretty
on this
good,
the whole review
but-
here?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to what he said. I plan on seeing this
festering with
movie.
anger.
I went to a fugue state. I was incensed about this.
This is one though where I will say, and I know I always guess what people are gonna like and what they're not, and I should probably not do that, but I would guess that Brent, this is one that you could probably rent when it comes out, just because it's like so depressing. So it might be one of those ones where it's like, do I really want to pay to get really, really depressed? You know, some of us were so depressed that we need to pay to feel, and that's where I'm at.
Not to brag, but I'm pretty depressed all the time there, brother. So bring it
Puts
on.
on his Kanye West
Well, this
glasses.
character I like. I like this one.
Hell yeah, dude. There's a little bit of this Oklahoma coming out in this boy. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, brother.
I'm so confused in the best way.
Let's go back to Brent. Brent, have you checked out anything else?
Unfortunately, I have. You know what? I've watched quite a few things, but I'm just going to bring up one because I feel like I need all the time in the world to talk about this. You know, I co-host a podcast with a man named Steven. He does not go by Steve.
What would you describe Steve looks like?
Steven?
Yeah.
A cherub of a man. Yeah.
That's not too bad, actually.
I can totally visualize that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can see you holding the bow and arrow already.
Do cherubs have?
Man, I would love to.
Yeah. That diaper is full, by the way, but anyway. So
It's cushiony.
yeah, because you've been pushing. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. But
Poop jokes,
I watched
everybody.
a movie directed by a man named Steve. It's a Shudder exclusive movie called Kuso. Now,
Oh, boy.
Oh my goodness.
Holy shit, what
I know
a throwback.
This is going back in time to early Terror Table days.
I'm having Kuso flashbacks right now.
Yeah. Wow. This movie. This. Wow. I don't.
I've never even heard of this
Well,
before.
okay. Yeah, you don't need to. Go ahead, Steven. Go ahead and just cancel Shudder. Just stay away from it. This movie was rough. Was fucking rough. I did not care for it at all. In early research I did on it, I knew it was going to be like an anthology a little bit, and you're talking about how wraparounds for anthologies can be tough. The anthology itself can be tough as well. I've never seen so many like festering pustules on people's faces that get made out with and like exploded. There's a scene where somebody there's an actual like bug creature that comes out of a man's anus, a leg is ripped off, and then juice squirts into this man's mouth as a cure. And then if you think that there's not a scene in this movie where a baby gets aborted and then somebody says we should smoke it, you are out of your goddamn mind, because it's in this movie. Wow. Yeah.
This is
Steve, you
Diego's
haven't
favorite
smoked till
movie.
you smoked baby.
Oh, God.
I gotta point out, it was directed by Flying Lotus.
That's right.
Yeah, Flying Lotus. Yeah.
Goes by
Yeah.
Or Steve.
He goes by Steve. Yeah, I think he's written or co-written each of these shorts within this movie ? And then he directed all of them. Yeah.
Directed?
No. This was a mistake. I did, whenever we go through and we watch movies and we talk about them on our podcast or any podcast we're on, I try to watch the whole thing. Try to stay off my phone. Try to pay attention. There's a lot of tapping 10 seconds forward on this. A lot of long shots, just like meandering. That's
Haven't you
bad
just heard
in and of
speeding
itself.
It? Like just
Dude.
2 times the speed here. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That would make it
honestly, I was
worse.
just. Yeah.
No, that he's not skipping 5 seconds of it all the time. There's
But
important
is he really
pus
missing a
popping.
lot? Is he
Yeah,
missing?
no.
He's
Pus
missing a
pop.
couple pusses. Yeah, pus pops. Sure.
No, I assure you, I am not missing those. That was fucking disgusting. I don't like body horror, and I don't like gross stuff. And this was all of that. And
Yeah, that's exactly.
the
that.
logo
Totally
is
forgot
like
about this movie.
it's like the word Kuso spelled out like in the ground with like all kinds of like slimy maggots and stuff on there. I was like, this is not a Brent movie, but I've made the commitment. I'm 14 seconds into this fucking thing. I guess I got to commit. So yeah, Kuso, don't watch it.
Why did you decide on Kuso?
Well, I knew you guys had some history with it, and I was like, well, what better time to dive into this than now? And I thought, well, I guess I could talk about it on LTAS, but then I was like, no, I'm not bringing that bullshit energy to my show. You guys have it. I'm flaking this off and leaving it here in this ditch.
Yeah, this is the movie that, like, notoriously, Diego, old co-host, rest in peace, would talk about every single fucking episode. Every episode, he was obsessed with this movie.
I do
And,
not
yeah.
understand.
he liked it?
I don't understand
he
why.
loves it.
I was
How?
gonna say 2 out of the 3 of us did not like that movie.
Yeah, me and Boozy were not fans. I see
Not
what it was
fans.
going for, just 100% not my thing. Not my thing
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
Co-written by Zach Fox, so kind of cool.
Is he related to Terry?
He's related to. He's related to your depression. He's related to the guy.
Oh,
who wrote the story of
Americans
your
didn't
life.
get the Terry Fox joke.
Of course not.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah, I
what
don't know
that
what
is.
that means.
Terry Fox is a Canadian icon who ran across Canada with one leg.
It's kind of like Forrest Gump.
He's like Forrest Gump.
Man, I feel really kind of happy to be a part of that joke that I did not
Yeah.
understand.
A Canadian. This is a Canadian heritage moment you've been a part of right here.
Oh, wow.
For a split second, I was about to do that thing where I was going to be like,
Yeah. It's like
You know,
whenever,
I'm so glad I did.
whenever you don't know what you're talking about, but you want to be a part of the conversation, you just say, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Rest in
guy.
peace, Terry Fox.
Yeah, R.I.P. R.I.P.
He and Diego died together. Wow.
Yeah.
They were both watching Kuso. They were
On set.
They're in a better place
They were
now.
on set.
They were watching it on like a car dash,
Kardashian.
and they crashed.
Yep.
Yikes.
Man,
All right.
what a sad
Well,
day.
that was a great review of Kuso. Steven, would you like to
welcome.
give us another one?
Oh, I actually don't have anything else. So yeah,
My guy.
That's all right.
that's where I'm at.
Kyle, Boozy, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Call me
got
Steven.
lots.
I'm dry.
You're dry? All right, Boozy,
right,
you
I'm-
go.
I didn't
I'm
say it was
gonna go.
dry. I'm always wet, but like,
Yeah, I can confirm that.
yeah. Just
All right,
whatever
you.
movie.
Now I know how Mitch feels. You non-watchers, step aside. Keep it down while I'm talking.
What else am I
right.
supposed to do after I watch Kuso?
Fair.
Like I'm ruined.
It's fair.
Well, for one, you could watch 2021's British horror directed by Santiago Mangini's No One Gets
Spaghetti.
Out Alive.
Okay.
Spaghetti, which is on Netflix.
Yeah.
No one gets out alive.
Yes.
All right, let's
so
hear about it.
This is actually a really cool idea for a film, and it's dealing with undocumented immigration into countries and kind of how people treat immigrants and what they're trying to get away from that drives them to these places in the first place. It's very interesting. Basically, it turns into a story of women disappear after going and staying at this hostel room rental place. And it just kind of goes from there, and a woman's unraveling the mystery of what's going on.
You know, I tried looking this up on the Just Watch app just now, and it said, "Are you sure you don't mean Rat Man?" So it's really like trying to push me. I don't know if there's like a sponsorship deal or what, but I feel like I'm gonna have to check out Rat Man at this point.
If you have like a Google Home, that's all it's doing is ordering copies of Ratman for you
Oh shit!
right now.
I've got 17 copies that are going to be delivered tomorrow. It paid for
passing out.
express shipping. Son of a bitch. Jeff
I need
Bezos
them
got
all
me again.
now.
But it's all VHS, and they're all coming from Russia. And it's someone like they had a satellite feed of Ratman one day and like recorded it, and they're like, "You got it."
Hello, I
But
hear you
at
like
least you
this
get like the
movie.
knockoff artwork though.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mitch is here. He might have actually died.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
you did.
I saw him disappear.
He
Should we
said he
just
had to
keep
go drop a
talking?
Kuso real quick.
Yeah, it was all the Kuso talk that got him, I think.
Hey, you know what the crazy part is out of anybody, I watched Kuso 3 times.
What?
First time,
No,
yeah.
this is more insane than when Mitch told me that he's seen the Snyder Cut 4 times.
That's also fact.
Yeah, okay, well, in terms of length, though, it's not as crazy. Like, I managed to get through.
It's not about the length. It's about how you use it.
First time I watched it,
Not in this case.
what the fuck am I watching? And then we were going to record, had to kind of skip down the line, so I had to watch it again to keep it fresh. So that was 2. And then the third one is we did a bunch of drugs at a Christmas party, and it was like, okay, let's put on something weird. And I put on the weirdest thing.
Yeah, confirmed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to watch that anyway, but especially on drugs.
Honestly,
sounds like
it was
would be
a
really bad
great
time.
way to make a Christmas party really quiet.
If you want everybody to like be fucked up and then leave.
Well, yeah, it's literally
That's
like
the movie to
everyone
put
can
on.
be having a good time, and then they'll slowly pivot over to look at what the fuck is going on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Gross.
Awesome.
Like a family Christmas party
kind of
too,
anxious
right?
just thinking about that. I think that does not sound like my scene.
Mitch, did you bring back either a bucket of chicken or piss?
Or
Neither.
chicken in piss.
I left
Oh.
both of them in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, fancy
Wow.
pants.
I got
fancy
one
one.
more. Boozy, do you want to knock another one off this week, or like how much do we got here?
I got 2 more.
Let's hear it. Give us one
Oh,
more.
it is a 2 more.
Okay, so I watched 2021's American horror comedy directed by Josh Rubin, Werewolves Within.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
I still have yet
it's-
to see it.
It's 100% what you think it is. It's very much a werewolf whodunit film. That's really all you need to know. There's some great comedy in this. There's some good kills, and the story actually kind of keeps you going. There's with films where they do the whole whodunit thing. I think the less you try and call it from the start, more you just enjoy the film, that it can kind of go that way. And honestly, I really liked how the story went. It had some very funny character archetypes as well. I think that they did a great job of having little scares that were also built into kind of the characters and their traits. Like there's a lady with a little like Pomeranian, and it gets pretty funny with that. So yeah, I really enjoy that movie. I definitely recommend that, and that's another one on Netflix.
I also
I feel
love
like-
Sam
like-
Richardson,
Yeah.
who's in that. Yeah. Little
Yeah.
buff boys. Little buff
Oh,
boys.
that's Sam Richard. Yes, he was incredible in this. His comedy timing as a lead is great.
And this is
That's funny that you mentioned the Pomeranian, because I just watched Blade Trinity, and there's also an evil Pomeranian in that as well.
Isn't that Parker Posey's?
Why
Do
are
I?
you watching
Isn't that
Blade
Parker
Trinity?
Posey's?
Yeah.
Pomeranian? Elizabeth Banks? Whatever.
No, it's actually I believe it's Triple H's Pomeranian.
Triple
is
H
the
is in
joke.
Trinity?
That's Paul
Yeah.
Levesque.
oh no, not this.
That's his actor name.
Oh wow.
Oh, boy.
We've opened the box.
Brent, you got anything else you want to fill us in on?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All
Go
right.
for it.
Yeah, so I'll close this off here before we get on to our main feature. I went and checked out the day after I saw Antlers. I was just riding a high on that film, so I wanted to go and catch up on new release films because, like I said, I have not been. I got to step my game up a little bit, so I decided to do that. I went and checked out Last Night in Soho, which is the new Edgar Wright film, which is written and directed by Edgar Wright, with also the screenplay had help from Christy Wilson Cairns. And yeah, the film is starring Thomasin McKenzie, Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Boulderface. What's that? He looks like he has a face of a boulder.
Jesse Plumpkins.
No,
We've been over this.
the guy from I also never watched Doctor Who, but
Jesse
I think
Boulderface.
Yeah.
I think that guy is Doctor Who as well.
Is it Liev
I
Schreiber?
don't know.
What the fuck is his name?
Matt
Dr.
Smith.
Boulderface.
Matt Smith.
That's
The most
That dude
basic
has an
bitch name
absolute-
of all time.
Yeah.
He has a
Yeah.
fucking absolute mountain of a face.
Carved the president into that bad boy.
Oh, he's in Morbius as well. So, yeah, there's that. Either way. All right, so this is Edgar Wright's new film. So Edgar Wright, the legend who created Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, At World's End, Baby Driver. This is his, self-herald... people know this as, Edgar Wright actually making a horror movie. He's not fucking around. He's not making a horror comedy. This is a horror movie. I saw the trailer. I was intrigued. I was like, of course I'm going to see it. Edgar Wright is great. Like, I like almost everything that guy makes. Like, he has such vision, and like his direction's amazing. You'll find all that in here. What you won't find in the trailer is that, this is a fucking straight up horror movie. Like, I watched the trailer again after I finished seeing the movie, and I was like, man, they really kind of don't show you what you're going to be in for. Because this movie was intense, and I loved it. I absolutely loved Last Night in Soho. I do think, like, it's not a perfect movie. I think I have questions. I think it's going to be one of those ones where I'm going to watch again. And I want to talk to people who have seen it, because there's one thing in particular where I felt got a little bit muddled at the ending. But the film centers around Thomasin McKenzie, who plays Eloise Turner, and she wants to be a fashion designer. She's moving from her hometown to London to pursue her dream of being a fashion designer. She's going to school, and she ends up in this place where she's renting a spot. And the reason I'm giving a synopsis is because I felt like the trailer did not explain this to me either. I didn't really know what it was about. I was like, oh yeah, looks good. I don't know what it's about. But yeah, she goes and stays in this place, and she begins having these lucid dreams where she's basically switching places with another person in the 60s, which is a time that she really romanticizes. It's where she loves all this music from the 60s. There's a lot of drawback to like where her mom, like how her mom raised her, which, there's a little bit of a sad note on that. But she's very connected to the 60s, and it shows through her fashion, her musical taste, and just her general way of life. And when she travels back in time, like this thing, it's not like an X-Men time travel movie where you're going to be like, hey, where are we? Like, it's not like, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not really convoluted or anything. She ends back in time, and she's kind of living her dream vicariously through this vision that she's having when she's sleeping. And she begins to become a part of a murder mystery and like a plot that is happening around the 60s. And she realizes that she could be helping solve a like decades old murder with a really notorious, brutal person behind it all. And the movie is stylish as hell. It's 100% Edgar Wright's ode to giallo films and Italian cinema. But it also is just like, it's not one of those movies where I think a lot of people were worried it was going to be, I don't know, me included. I'm like, do I know enough about giallo films to fully get what Edgar Wright's going for? No, he's totally just creating his own little story here. He's using all of his Edgar Wright isms that you've come to know and love, like the quick cuts that he puts in all of his movies, which I'm a big fan of. I just love the energy of his movies, and this movie is no exception. I will have to think about it long and hard, but I think this is my second favorite Edgar Wright movie, and that's saying a lot, because I love everything that this guy does for the most part.
Wow.
And I thought this movie was fucking awesome. And
what's your first favorite?
Shaun
Baby
of the
Driver.
Shaun
Baby
of the
Driver.
Dead.
He said.
Definitely
Shaun of
Baby
the
Driver.
Dead.
It's just Baby Driver.
Sean.
Right on.
It pretty much actually goes like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, at
Baby
World's
Driver.
End, Baby Driver, but now it's like Shaun of the Dead, Last Night in Soho. Maybe Last Night in Soho is number one. I don't know. I got to give it some time. But I loved it.
Yeah,
I thought it was great, and I think all the actors and actresses just absolutely crushed it. This is some of the best I've ever seen Anya Taylor-Joy be, and she's been, popping off like crazy over the last couple of years. And this is one of her best performances.
You
But
mean Princess
Thomasin
Peach? Yeah,
McKenzie. Is she Princess Peach?
That is the princess.
Speaking of which, can we bring the cancellation corner back for just a second?
Uh-oh. I know where this is going.
Cancelled.
Cancelled.
Cancelled. Cancelled. Cancelled.
Let's get it.
Fuck Chris Pratt. Let's
Yeah.
get Chris Pratt out of here. He's gotta fucking
fuck
go.
that guy.
Yeah.
There's just too much. There's too much for his little Trump-loving fucking bullshit, all-American garbage. Leaving. Oh my god.
It's kind of hilarious that we really like.
I used to
we
love
finally-
Chris Pratt.
We finally decided, okay, this is enough. Once Garfield got into the mix, that's when we
That's
thought,
exactly
okay,
it.
now we need to
He does not
stop. Things have
deserve
gone
to
too
crawl into
far.
that costume.
It was like,
Hashtag not my Garfield. So let's
not my Garfield at all.
so let's
no, and it's upsetting because I used to love Chris Pratt, and I'm sure he's a lovely man. But it's like,
the
God
OC
damn it,
season
can
3.
you-
Come on, guys.
can you let someone else have some? Like, can someone else be an actor for a bit? Same with, like, I love Oscar Isaac, but fucking chill for a bit.
No.
Like,
I can't get aboard that one. That guy could be an
No,
anything.
he's gotta back off a bit though. Like, he's two movies away from fucking being Chris Pratt. But Chris Pratt is,
you're gonna get Chris Pratt, you're gonna get Oscar Isaac, or you're gonna get Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Those are your only options. That's
I'm gonna be
all
honest.
it is now.
I'm gonna be honest. The Rock
Rock
doesn't bother me nearly as much as either of the other ones. I'm not gonna lie. Just because.
Actually, Mitch, as you were talking about that, I just got a news alert. It looks like Chris Pratt has been cast as Jesse Plumpkins. That's strange.
Here
I
we
guess
go.
he's going to voice that character now.
I love that character.
There's gonna be 8 Mile 2 starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson now that he's got a rap career. Holy fuck. I don't know. We talked about this on the show and I hadn't seen it, but Kyle and Boozy both saw it. But like that Rock Tech 9 song.
Oh, yeah. Kind of slaps.
The dude.
We stay humble. We develop.
It's so bad. Like, yeah, it's so cringy. But
It
no,
is very, very
I'm really-
cringy.
I don't know how. Oh yeah, sorry. How
Shout out
did I
to the
get on the
CFL.
Chris Pratt? I was just like talking about praising how good Last Night in Soho was, and somehow I got triggered by Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I want to see that letterbox review.
Last
You're
Night
like,
in
man, this
Soho,
movie's great.
great.
Fuck Chris
But
Pratt.
honestly,
Like,
fuck Chris
what?
Pratt.
Things are going to get out of hand once you can just start rating people on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
With Chris Pratt being Garfield, does that mean that Garfield's now homophobic?
Yeah, it's canon. That's canon. Yeah, for sure.
It's canon now.
Yeah, you can't have Mario being homophobic. That just don't work at all.
I'll have to go no comment on that one.
All right. Well, yeah, Chris Pratt, rest in peace. He's dead. Yeah, honestly, Antlers, Last Night in Soho, we're living in a good time. Good time for horror movies. I highly recommend checking out both of them. They're both playing in theaters right now. So yeah, check that out, or check out Dune, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Kyle, I just have to ask,
fuck Chris
how was the worm bussy?
Oh, it's wussy, baby. It's good.
I was listening to a podcast that was talking about like they fucking hated Dune. Like they were like, it's dog shit. I'm not even gonna. We'll see you in hell. They're my favorite podcast. They are by far.
on
They're the
blast.
only podcast I pay for. But the funniest thing is, like, I've actually, like, I'm a part of like a Facebook group, We'll See You in Hell fan group, where we all talk about it, and like all of their episodes are behind a paywall. So it's like you got to. These are two industry comedians, Patrick Walsh and Joe DeRosa. But it started out as a horror podcast, but it really is now just watching two guys who, like, the industry did not accept kind of lose their minds.
So it's like the terror
Patrick
table.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Patrick Walsh is like he wrote like some of the first episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, he's to me one of the funniest people on earth. But they fucking like hate Blade Runner 2049.
Okay, these are not my people. These are not my people.
They hated Dune even more. But they had the funniest thing about, because I tried canceling Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, that's... no.
But they had such a good conversation about it, because they're like, it's so weird that women think that he is hot. Because it's like, he looks like the brother who, like, you go over to someone's house, and the brother who wakes up at 2 p.m, who doesn't have a job, and is just always like, you know, like closing his eyes and, like, you know, just grabbing some cereal and going back to bed, that loser brother. And but every woman in Earth is in love with this guy right now. It's like, that is a child.
It's called The Bad Boy. Come on.
Timothy Chalamet. The bad.
He looks like
What would you rather
a
have,
little
fucking
kid
Lucas
that
Hedges? Like,
loves to get math homework. That's what he looks like to me. He doesn't look like a bad boy of anything.
That's
Yeah, I
honestly
think
fair.
he looks like the trust fund kid whose parents just pay for his way through school because they can, and then he can somehow still maintain an air of like mystery. I don't know why I'm shitting on him. He's been
Just
on
like
some
in
stuff
real life,
that I really
they
like.
always win. That's all good.
You got some anger to get out.
I really no. My anger. Let me be crystal clear. All my anger is focused towards Chris Pratt, right now,
Okay, noted.
which is something I never thought I would ever say. Because like, holy fuck, did I love Andy Dwyer and like fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah.
I tolerated him in Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. Like, but fuck, Garfield, the line has been drawn.
Yeah, that's actually so fair. So fair.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys want to talk about teeth?
Why start now?
Fuck
We
yes.
already started with Dune.
All right, we'll be right back talking about Teeth from 2007. And welcome to our main feature presentation, where we are going to be talking about Teeth, which came out in 2007 and was directed by Mitchell Lichtenstein. Correct? Is that how you guys would say?
Lichten.
Lichtenstein. What's that from? What movie is that?
You're thinking...
Ulrich von Lichtenstein. Knight's Tale.
Yeah, you got it.
Terrible movie.
What a weird pull.
Well,
Yep.
I was like, where do I know
artist.
that? Where do I know that
no.
name from?
It is.
Ulrich von Lichtenstein.
That's his father.
That was
Roy Lichtenstein is this director's father.
Yeah. Are you serious?
No, that's Darth Vader. That's a different guy.
Well, both are true.
No,
I'm actually dead serious though.
Darth Lichtenstein.
If you ever
There
want to stem back and go all the way back, like trace your steps to where Mitch became a pretentious douchey fuck, it would be A Knight's Tale. Because I remember watching it in theaters, and I was like, Queen wasn't around in the medieval times.
Oh god. Well, never.
They had a queen back then. Not a band.
Historian bad boy.
I hated that.
Never
I
ever
hated
watch,
that movie so bad for that reason.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, Teeth. It centers around, the synopsis is: still a stranger to her own body, a high school student discovers she has a physical advantage when she becomes the object of male violence. The movie starring Jess Wexler, John Hensley, Josh Praise, Hale Appleman, and we don't give a fuck about the rest of them.
Okay.
This was a movie that was, I believe, like the LTAS boys, Stephen and Brent, you decided to choose this movie while live on the show.
Look, I'll fall on the sword. Stephen and I had just recorded, like midweek last week, we recorded a special Halloween episode, and we were both in a very silly mood, and Stephen had done some research on like possible movies we could discuss when we come on your show. And he went through the list, and as soon as he got to Teeth, we both started giggling, and we're like, "That's the one! That's the one!" Because look, it's the premise is very silly, you know. And honestly, I was like, well, let's go with this one because it's a funny movie about this chick that has bicuspids in her sniz, right? And I'm like, oh, well, I'll have a good time. But then, as I was going through and watching it, I was like, oh man, yeah, I forgot why this it manifests, right? Because there's like so much like sexual assault and rape and incest and everything like you had warned about at the beginning of the episode here. So that was not at all enjoyable. Matter of fact, when I was telling my wife that I was going to watch this, she was like, no, I'm not going to watch that. I have no interest in watching that. But then I did discuss with her this morning, since I finished watching it last night, about the movie. She's like, well, how was it? I was like, it's way more rapey than I remembered. Really? I just remembered some dudes getting their wieners bit off. But this was different. This was different than what I expected. What I was picturing in my mind, I think my brain was just scabbing over it just to protect me. But yeah, there's some gross stuff that happens in like between this and Kuso. I don't know what I don't. You know, I had a good run with horror.
Weird week.
I feel like I've essentially
you're
ruined
dipping out
it
now.
from
You're dipping out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm only going to watch documentaries about roses and dandelions going forward.
Yeah, it was the Halloween episode.
Did anybody see
Kyle?
the Letterbox tagline for this film? It's every rose has its thorn. So
It's true.
That's pretty
That's
smart.
a pretty good one.
That's a Poison song. Yeah.
Definitely.
Honestly, also I was gonna ask, like when you're
That's the quote,
when you're
yeah.
talking to your wife about it, did you mention like, oh, there's Greek mythology? Like I feel like you could have just enlightened her with all the the cool part of it.
I
Elevate it.
didn't get to that part, but like before she left for work, she did like walk close to me to like give me a hug and kiss. I was like, I don't think so.
I don't trust you.
What's going on in that tussy?
Yeah, keep yourself at bay. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, baby.
You know?
Brent, remind me, because I remember this movie when it, I guess roughly when it came out, and I used to show everybody that came to my house this movie.
Yes.
Because it was so absurd. And I think we watched it when we first met. I'm sure your wife has seen it
Yes,
at some point, at some party.
We watched it
right?
as a group, and we're all like, "Oh my god, this is so crazy!" And that was my memory of it. But I feel like in a group setting, there's a lot of like crosstalk and people getting up to go to get food or whatever. You're not really focused on the rape part of it. As a group.
But it's a rape revenge movie. That's what I like about it. It's like, it has all that shit in there, but it's awesome that she's chomping on dicks.
It's always good to be Speaking of chomping on dicks, though, so I watched this movie with my ex-girlfriend with Brent. I can't for the life of me remember what were you saying about my ex-girlfriend who was recently on the show?
She was hot. Yeah, I'll lean into it. I don't give a fuck. You guys are up in Canada. She's not going to kick my ass. I mean, she could.
Yeah, she definitely could.
First of all, look.
Believe that.
If someone's going to come to the U.S., no one's going to come to Oklahoma. We ain't got shit here. So I'm 100% safe on that.
Yeah. I might do that.
Brent was really nervous to tell me that my ex-girlfriend was hot.
Because I know Mitch, but I don't know Mitch. And I was like, I'm gonna float this joke out here and see what happens. So I sent it, and I just sat there with my hands on my knees, just waiting. And I was like, this is taking a little bit longer than I wanted.
You'll be pleased to know.
It was weird because
you'll be pleased to know that her favorite episode of the Terror Table was you boys on for Chronicle and Brightburn.
Well,
oh wow! So she has a crush on Brent.
Well,
okay,
it's kind of like my favorite episode of LTAS is when Steven's cousin was on the show and Brent wasn't.
Nephew, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just did another haunted
There's
house.
A lot of inside
badass.
jokes here that you have to have listened to our episodes for, so I apologize to everybody.
Yeah.
We'll move on from here. But I just wanted to make Brent. I was trying to make him uncomfortable, but I realized that when you're a sociopath, you can't make someone uncomfortable.
Hey man, you can't make a brown man blush. You know what I'm saying, brother? Hell yeah.
You learn something new every day.
I want to imagine that's Brent in real life.
So would you say that
he's dropping the facade?
Would you say that Oklahoma birthed racism or perfected racism?
I think it's more of a dabbling process. There are other states that have really perfected it.
It's more of a dab.
Yeah.
That's Missouri. Yeah. Missouri. Shout out Daniel and Chris Hurtado. Missouri boys. I'm trying to get jobs.
You're not saying they perfected it. You're just saying they perfected it. It's totally different.
It's all about context. Yeah. It's so different.
Yeah.
I gotta stop putting this on my resume.
Oklahoma, just to throw this out there one final time. It's because it's where Americans shipped all of their Native Americans, right? And then we also took the land from them there, and that's where Brent lives.
See, we're in Treaty 6 where we just straight up took over every piece of their land. So that's we are worse than you guys. I don't know if we go that far, but we're all pretty shit.
Is there a statue dedicated to good old JR in Oklahoma? How many statues, I guess?
Or JK Rowling?
Jim Ross? The Jim... Oh, no.
Jim Ross?
Yeah.
Jim Jones? Who are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
JR, the fucking commentator for WWE. Anyone who ever watched wrestling would be like, the fucking JR.
Boozy thinks we're going to know fucking wrestling.
Yeah, we're not wrestling dudes. We had Dave Roberts on, who's from England, and he loves American wrestling for some reason. But that was the only extent we've ever discussed wrestling on here. And also, I said brother 3 times on this episode so far, so maybe that was it.
You know what? I think your brother points are taken away there, bud.
Oh my god.
Listen, bud. Don't be calling me chief, all right?
Listen here, pal.
Okay, so teeth. So, Brent, why did you choose teeth?
Well, I thought it would be fun to discuss in an immature group setting. Like I said, this girl has teeth in her vagina, and that's just inherently funny to me. There are teeth in a place where teeth shouldn't be, and I think we can all agree that is just straight up hilarious. Even if she had
it's more spooky than hilarious. It gives me the heebie-jeebies and the willies to think about that.
Well, what I'm imagining is what if she's I don't know, I got teeth down there. Let me try to eat a gordita crunch down there or something like that. The possibilities for comedy are endless. What can you put up there?
It opens a lot of doors.
I think it didn't eat any. I'm pretty sure it just spit it back out.
You
could carry stuff. or
Which they already
or
can.
like if you wanted like a can opener or something.
Well, yeah, but you've seen any number of X-Men movies where a young Cyclops, his oh yeah, you haven't, but people have, where a young Cyclops, his mutant powers kick in and his eye blast like destroy a school or whatever, but he has to like train himself to get better about that.
They're so worried about him doing that whenever he's gonna get when he's gonna come. Because like, isn't that a thing?
Yeah.
Like where he's trying to
that's a Family Guy
not
sketch.
let his eyes blow up while he's fingering Rogue or something. It's been a
can't
while
finger
since
Rogue.
I've seen X-Men.
Hey, Mitch, I know we're
right,
having a
you
good time,
can't.
but you can't finger Rogue, okay? It's Jean Grey.
Can't you just
Yeah.
give him like the big Ray Charles glasses or something, and he'll be fine?
Well, he gets glasses, but what I'm saying is like he has to like train himself to help control his powers and get used to them. So for her, the titular teeth girl, I imagine that at a certain point she'll be able to like bite something and also ingest it. Her,
okay,
I mean
so
your
they're
tum-tum's
gonna
right
But she
there.
needs
they're gonna
glasses
work
first?
up to feeding. She's gonna work up to feeding her vagina like it's a separate
So
entity.
this is like an origin story, is what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. This is very much in the same universe as Brightburn. Did you not see the connective tissue? It's
No.
Yeah.
Does she have two stomachs then?
She actually has
From
four
each
like a
end?
cow,
Would
but
she have to eat
Oh,
less out
wow.
of one end then, if she had to sustain herself using the same amount of caloric intake?
Guys, I don't know. Okay, I really feel like we're trying to break down the science of this movie where this girl has teeth in her pussy. Okay, I need everyone
Maybe
to
if
understand.
you knew more about the Greek mythology of it, that you'd tell your wife, and then by extension tell us after.
Shout out Aphrodite.
To be fair, it's not
Shout out your
just
wife.
Greek mythology; it's mythology of everyone. According to
Right.
what she said, like Polynesian
was in every culture.
history and all of this stuff. So it's just out there in the world.
Right.
So that's why you picked teeth. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. All that to
Long
say,
story short,
I
yeah.
picked this movie for fun,
Understood.
and kind of wasn't, but
Understood.
it
My-
kind of is.
My first note is I can't even remember where this came from because I watched the movie a couple days ago, but I have a quote. Just says, "I haven't even jerked off since Easter."
Oh,
Yep,
great
I wrote
line.
that down as well.
Great line.
It's
That's
really
what-
good that you can plan your when you jerked off last based on holidays.
Mitch, I somehow knew that
Christian
that quote was gonna
holidays.
stick with you. I honestly was ready for you to bring that up on the show. I'm not even kidding. Like I'm not even.
I hate. Oh my god, I hate that I'm known for that now.
Brent, Steven,
I'm
have you
curious,
guys had
though,
spooky
because you said you
comes?
watched it. You said you watched it the other day, but did you guys have a history of this movie before?
Yeah, I watched it with my ex-girlfriend that Brent is very creepy
Oh, yeah,
towards.
that's right. Yeah. What about the rest of you?
I have a long history with this movie. I've seen it like 6 times since I was like
Oh, excellent.
15, because I had one friend who didn't really like horror at all, but for some reason just thought this was like every time I came over, like we had to watch. I don't know why.
Oh, you're the
but,
teeth guy. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like it's not even really a horror movie, and I don't like it that much. But it's like, come on, man, it's so funny. So I feel like this was written for 14-year-olds and for those
Oh,
who
yeah.
have kept that 14-year-old mentality later into their life.
I feel like me and Kyle are about to have a different conversation.
Yeah, I think so too.
This movie is great. Like
Well-
this is actually a really good movie.
I
It
do.
just-
I have issue with this movie too. Actually, I saw this movie. I thought like for some reason I thought this movie was way older than it is, but I saw it like roughly when it came out. Must have been like 2008. I actually watched this movie with my sister.
Oh god! of all people to watch us with, watch this incestuous.
Yeah.
I watched.
Sniz teeth
I saw
movie
the. I
with
saw
your
the.
sister?
Have you guys? Has anyone here seen The Green Knight yet?
No, I haven't seen
No.
it.
Okay, well, I went to the theater with my mom for that, and just so you know, like, there's a cum scene.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, I haven't. The last movies I've
Was it
seen with
green?
my mom in the last like 10 or 12 years has been like Star Wars or Jurassic World. And then I was like, Mom, you like fantasy movies? Let's go see The Green Knight. And there's a straight up close up on cum in that movie.
yeah. Fair
She's
enough.
like, that's my favorite part.
Yeah,
It's also part of Kuso, so
Right,
you know.
right.
lots of cum in
Oh,
Kuso.
cool.
No, like
Yeah.
this was like I don't know. For some reason, like this movie was always like I don't know how we even found out about it, but it was like I think we were literally scrolling through like up in Canada we have something called Sha on Demand, and like we were scrolling through like synopses of like new releases, and like we both stared at the synopsis being like that is so like fucking strange. We have to like what is this about? Like this is so because back then like Actually, my sister was very instrumental in like showing me like cool movies at the time. She got me into like a lot of like indie shit that wasn't in like, I don't know, the theater that would always play like Harry Potter or whatever was coming out, because I was pretty young when I watched this. I was probably like 12.
Okay, first of all, Harry Potter fucks. Second of all, my sister gave me Slipknot, so yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so
Hell yeah.
you completely understand. Anyways, but neither of us knew. We're like, the plot alone is obviously pretty like crazy, or like something you probably haven't heard of before, but neither of us were ready for what we were about to watch, and we were both sufficiently scarred after seeing it. And I remember like we had a good time. Like, it was like, that was like a good movie, but it was just like, we almost didn't even want to talk about it. And then I remember my parents came over right afterwards. They were like, "Oh, like, what'd you guys watch today?" And we were like, no, we don't really want to talk about it. Like,
Why are you guys sitting on opposite ends of the couch
we
now?
absolutely were. That's so funny. It's like we were both like kind of like not prepared, but it's funny because ever since it's always been like kind of like a movie, kind of like an inside joke movie of like, fuck, like nothing is crazier than teeth. Has always been kind of like a little like inside joke between the two of us. So when you guys wanted to watch this, I was like, holy fuck, that's like a blast from the past. But I wasn't really sure how I feel about watching it again, because I just remember it being insane. I honestly don't remember how I felt about it. I remember being like, there's just like so much shit in this that was like scarring for the time. But again, that was like 10 plus years ago. So I was actually very excited to watch it again, and honestly had an excuse to do so. So I appreciate it.
Did you invite your sister over to rewatch it?
I wish I could have. I actually didn't even tell her I was watching it. She's really good at getting a kick out of it when I tell her. I know exactly what I tell her that I watched Teeth. She's going to be like, why? I know that's what she's going to say.
You did it again?
You'd be like, well, these Americans decided it would be fun to discuss.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
They got some shit going on.
It'd be amazing if you called her and you're like, you never guess what I watched, and she's like, I watched Teeth the other day, and you're like, me too.
That would be fucking awesome.
You have like a connection now, you know. Every time one watches it, the other one has to.
Well, it's like sometimes I'll be at home at night and I'll look at the moon and I'll be like, I wonder if Steven is also watching Teeth. And it turns out he was.
Wow. What a coincidence.
Yeah. This time.
Yeah.
Finally, you got a yes answer.
I had pretty much the same experience with this movie. I think everyone did, where it was like one of those things where it just, the idea, the concept alone just seems so ridiculous and funny. And because it is. Like,
totally.
Vagina with teeth. It's pretty funny. But when I watched it, like back in the day, like the only thing I remembered from this movie was the waterfall scene, like the scene where she I think the vagina strikes first. I guess. It's the first strike of the vagina. And it was that moment where I was just like, okay, that was memorable. And then I actually straight up forgot everything else in this movie. Looking back on it now, I think this movie has a lot to say, and I think that it does a lot of things right. It's not one of those ones that's like super enjoyable, but I'm trying to think of Boozy. We just covered a movie recently where the director, like his work kind of reminds me a lot of this movie.
Jason Reitman?
No, Suburban Gothic.
Jason Bateman?
I'm looking it up. What's his name again? Fuck.
Jesse Plumpkins.
Ricky Bates Jr.
David S. Pumpkin.
The movie Excision. Remember, Boozy? We covered Excision recently, and he also did Trash Fire, Suburban Gothic, Tone Deaf. This movie has a lot of those vibes to me, like where it's like it is like kind of a just surreal world that you're kind of thrusted into. Sorry for using that word at this time.
Nice.
But yeah, like it is just like this movie's just kind of, it's very wacky, but I think that at its core it means well. That's why I'm giving this movie a positive review today. I still think I think I appreciate Teeth more than I ever did. I think I give it more credit than I ever would have. And it's just because like there's so many ridiculous moments in this movie, but it's such a like weird concept to tackle. But real talk, this is kind of off topic, but not really. But like potentially super ignorant question coming in here. And I know I'm asking a group of 4 other dudes, so I don't know what I'm doing here. But do gynecologists put all 4 fingers in?
No,
I think they go elbow deep is what I heard.
Well, no, because I'm like, obviously it's a medical procedure, but like, and I know that dude was creepy in his own right, and that's why, like, you know, obviously they're making that statement. I understand that, but I know so little about the gynecologist experience, So it's one.
Elbow deep.
Yeah.
Like a sock
go back to that
bopper
for a
doesn't
second.
even go that deep.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
You got to do it. How else are you going to
Great
puppet
connection.
someone? You know. You just like slide your elbow in there. You're like waka waka. You just get it. You just get real deep in there.
Yeah. Rover shows up.
I have very, very few notes on this movie, but the only I don't even remember writing this, and that's upsetting. But I did write. I like how the guy at the end in the car took a play out of the Brent Hibbard handbook.
With his tongue?
Brent's like, wait a second.
A joke at my expense.
Wow, there we go.
It's that guy who was just like, yeah, no, door's locked, like something's going down, and then the movie,
okay.
you know, the movie
That guy.
ends. It's just like, oh, classic Brent.
That makes sense.
Wait, is this because I'm old or a creep?
Both.
Or both?
No,
Is
it's
it both?
because
It's both.
you shared
Fuck.
your honeymoon story with everyone.
Yeah, I know. I regret that. That's why I deleted my Facebook. I'm like, I can't be doing this. Can't keep this up.
The only reason I mentioned this as well is because I can't remember any other movies where I can think of this, but I don't know how you guys were in the US of A, but here in Canada, actually, I don't even know, because both Kyle and Boozy, you guys went to public schools, didn't you? You guys weren't in
Catholic,
Catholic
baby.
schools?
Catholic.
Oh, you were
Public school.
Catholic? So did you have Five Alive? Do you remember Five Alive?
Full alive,
Yeah.
baby. Fully
So
alive.
Five Alive was where we learned... Fully Alive. Sorry, Fully Alive. Yeah.
Five alive.
That's-
Sounds like a boy band.
That's where we learned that if you have sex, you die.
More or less.
Wait.
More or
Did you say Five Alive or Full Alive? Because these are completely different things.
Fully
I
alive.
used to always call it Five Alive because there was that drink, Five Alive, that was really delicious, the citrus
Yeah.
drink in the juice box. But then there's Fully Alive where there's pictures of dicks and vaginas.
And you want to
And
turn
I'm
to
just
page
wondering-
69.
Yes.
Nope.
Oh my
We
god, that
didn't
was
have
classic.
that.
That was a classic joke, Kyle. I love it. I'm here for it. But I'm just saying, imagine being the person tasked to pencil draw a realistic photo of a vagina for like a textbook,
It's called
which
art.
is something that happens in this movie. Do you already
Just-
have that
it's
on
called
hand?
art.
It's called art, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Jambi recently, and he said that was his next gig is just drawing vaginas for textbooks. So
Did anyone notice that in the Teeth small town that smoke doesn't move?
Oh, from the
smokestacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was unnecessary. Like, it seemed like they were CGI.
Yeah.
But I was like, I didn't need to know she was like near anything that made this happen. I just thought she's just a badass.
You
Brent
could have
said. She's
literally
like,
just put
this
like
is
a
superhero.
biohazard sign near some like dirty water, and I would have got the same.
Done. Yeah, right.
I just
Good to go.
assume this movie takes place in Springfield, and
Well,
Homer
that's
Simpson is
kinda what
right
I
over there.
thought.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually think that
That's what
I
I
didn't
thought.
think that part was that heavy-handed, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, it's like there, but like,
Not bad.
But like I think it's just odd, and like it didn't serve entirely a purpose. Like I guess it did, but it just seemed really odd, and it's right from the start.
Well,
Yeah, they're like, this is the town.
and especially since they talk about the vagina dentata, and real quick, like vagina dentata is like, you know, teeth in a woman's vagina, and it shouldn't be confused with vagina frittata, which is a vaginally shaped egg dish, and it certainly shouldn't be confused with vagina brentata, which is what I was known for in college. But I will say, there's no point in them bringing up or having the nuclear plants there if
I love you, Brad.
they're just going to
okay,
talk
hold
about,
on,
like,
hold on,
it's
hold on.
something
What's a
that's happened.
brentata? We need to know.
No.
That was his nickname. It's like
Yeah, that's what
Brentata
You don't-
or hey
you had
you
to
over
be
there
there,
in the
though.
bush.
Yeah. Or that
Yeah.
guy beating up.
What are you doing with Jesse Plemons in that bush?
Jesse Plemons.
I
Never
know,
heard
he's
of
a
him.
new guy.
Jesse
That's a weird
Plumpkins.
name. New guy, huh?
He's got a nice
But
bush.
you know, the fact that they talk about like the history of vagina dentata being like a thing out, you know, in history throughout time memoriam, instead of it was generated by this girl living
Yeah.
near a nuclear power plant. They seem like oil and water. Like they just there's no reason for them both to exist in this movie. You know.
How did it only form there? It's like
I don't
he
know.
tripped in a puddle vagina first.
Yeah, it's kind of like this is the weirdest Spider-Man origin story.
Yeah,
ever.
exactly. No, it's like radioactive man, but it only got her right like down there. Like, how did that happen?
Maybe
I
she.
don't know.
Okay,
That's
wait,
the
wait, wait,
origin
wait.
story.
I got it.
Guys,
I got it. I
it's
got
the
it.
vaccine at work.
I figured it out. So, like, the vaccine.
This is what happens when you get the vaccine.
Yeah,
Now we're never gonna get that Spotify deal now.
or that Tubi deal.
Oh yeah.
What a shame.
Well, wait, which is the hard one to Fubo? That's what it is. That's the one that's
Fubo,
impossible.
yep.
But since her house is like backed up to that like nuclear power plant, she probably has like a bidet in her home that maybe her stepdad was trying to install, and she used it once and it broke. But it got her like right there in the fun bits, and she was like, I don't know, this is weird, and now I'm like glowing or whatever. But whatever, I'll just wipe it off and go about my business. So it was just like a one-time use
What
bidet.
I always do.
A one and done.
Do you think
bidet.
they're glow in the dark teeth like Attack the Block?
Oh my god, I hope so. Yes.
Or
I
like
was
the
gonna say,
vampire
like
ones you put
stars
in.
that you'd put in your bedroom.
Yeah.
You're like, this vagina has eyes. Wait a minute, those aren't eyes.
Yeah. Man,
To go with the
what a
eating
look.
conversation, could you train it to talk?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. I thought
sure.
that that's
Man.
one way that the movie could have been elevated a little bit if
Have it be like an evil
I'm trying to
sidekick?
find the least crude way to say pussy, but that the pussy has character, you know, like where I'd be like, I want it to talk, like in that Ryan Reynolds movie in The
Yeah.
Voices, like how the dogs talk.
Mitch, are you saying that they should do a Teeth Malignant crossover
That's
movie?
exactly what I was thinking.
Where it
Because
only
yes.
speaks through fucking boom boxes.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But it's only like Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, shut up,
2,
Malignant.
or like Slumber Party Massacre 2, and the vagina only talks like Andrew Dice Clay.
I would love that.
Can't change it.
Hey,
either.
let's get some
Yeah.
big cine.
Forget about it.
I'm hungry. Hey, I'm eating
Oh,
here.
I'm hungry over here.
Oh god. Well,
Mitch, going back to the gynecologist that you mentioned, I would be remiss if I did not point out that actor is Josh Pais. P-A-I-S is his last name. I don't know how to pronounce this, but he actually was the actor inside the suit for Raphael in that first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Wait.
Is it
The
really?
original, the
Wild.
OG or the? Oh,
The
OG.
90 one,
The OG.
1990.
all right. So respect, but
Yeah.
you know what? Just because you're a turtle doesn't give you the right. I know turtles only have 4 fingers, but that doesn't mean put all 4 in there.
well, hey, come on.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
also
And they're
he's
bigger.
also Wallace in Scream 3.
Don't get greedy.
Don't everybody's favorite Scream 3?
Oh, yeah,
kid?
he's the
He's
detective.
also Hoyt Vaughn in
Yeah, yeah.
the classic cinema, the cinematic masterpiece from 2019, Joker.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh god, I was tired
Am I
already, but
the
now
only
I'm
smart
just
person on this whole
all-
panel? Am I the only one who understands
Fully
cinema?
asleep.
Okay, just checking.
fully asleep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, here we go. This is it.
So Mitch is currently looking at the bookshelf, or sorry, DVD shelf. He's gonna grab.
You never leave home
think-
without
oh,
it.
this
DVD
is a-
shelf.
You never
whoa,
leave
whoa,
home
whoa.
without it.
That's a Blu-ray shelf, baby.
I think you unplugged your
That's
mic
a-
or
we
something.
We can't even hear
Mitch.
Mitch. He
That's
got
a
I don't
so
know if it was worth
excited.
it.
combo.
He got so excited.
I don't see
This is
any
ev-
Blu-rays. I just see DVDs, man.
This is Mitch's evil turn right here. This is evil
Yeah.
Mitch now.
Evil Mitch. Joker is actually a masterpiece.
Okay,
Right.
buddy.
Anyway,
All right.
moving on.
All right.
Okay,
You just
fella.
take your Halloween candy and be on your way now.
I know we all love Cliff
Um,
Notes, but easy.
Can we talk about the stepbrother in this movie, who's from like Nip Tuck or whatever?
Yeah, singer of Hawksley Workman.
He has some of the fakest looking tattoos I've ever seen in my life. They
You're just
are
jealous
terrible.
because you want those tattoos.
What are you talking about? He's clearly in a new metal band.
I was gonna say. I mean,
It's like they were supposed to be like tattoos that like accidentally got shrunk, like fake tattoo, like
Yeah.
you know, because it looks like they're supposed to run down the length of his arm, but it's just like the positioning is weird. I can't imagine any tattoo artist being like, "Yeah, this fits running down your arm like this."
well, no, it's kind of like
I don't,
you go
I
to the
don't think
tattoo
you
shop
understand.
and you just want to like, hey, I want to pay what I can get for, it. And they're like, hey, well, you got $20 to give you a small one, and I think he just did
Yeah.
that like 4 or 5 times, you know?
I don't. I think you're giving a little bit too much props to the ethics of most tattoo artists.
It's true.
No comment.
No comment. But seriously though, I know that this is gonna be horrible for my email punk cred, but like, remember, there's no such thing as a person who's not a complete fucking stupid fuckhead who has that like center piercing in the middle of his lip. Does he not have that in this movie?
Totally.
Or was I just projecting?
He does, yeah.
That's the
Oh,
worst.
100%.
That's the worst.
Gotta cancel my appointment for Saturday.
Well,
Thanks.
he also has
Especially with your facial hair.
Thank
You
you.
would look
Thank you.
like a great basis for my bait.
Yeah, see,
Stephen, you should also
yeah.
get a Prince Albert while you're at it.
thank
You
you.
might as well get the whole
you'd be
package.
I'm surprised that this guy doesn't have a Prince Albert.
It says I don't have one already.
The guy in the brother. Also, that is incest. So I saw some people arguing about that online, and that's actually like a thing. I can't even remember what movie or what I was reading or watching. I don't know why this is coming up. I'm sorry. But no, like that is like obviously, it's so fucked up how the movie opens up with like the kid getting his finger bit.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, I
Oh,
know
yeah.
that there's a lot of creeps out there, and I'm probably in a room with 4 of them right now. But like,
that kind of
no.
creep.
what fucking kid? Oh, obviously they're psychopaths. It's a horror movie. It's like, exaggerated expression. But Jesus Christ, like, what a way to kick the movie off. That just it's not like a super LOL
Yeah.
moment. Like that's not one of those.
No.
You didn't
It's
laugh
more
at
of
that
a
part?
JK like you face.
Yeah, if anything, a soft LOL, just like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it's
Maybe just
it
like where you
sets the
just say
stage,
LOL in like an awkward way, where it's like haha LOL.
It might be an LOUB, laughing out under breath, It's
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's one of those.
Allowable. I do find that the effects in this movie are pretty. I think they're pretty good.
like the dicks?
Later on when the cocks get bit off and like they're squirting blood, they
They
look
really
pretty
do.
disgusting.
They really do.
But
100%.
right, they look pretty good. And his
They
finger,
had some good dick detail.
yeah, really good dick detail
Scarring.
for sure. But his finger to start it off looks pretty disgusting. Like it really sliced that fucking thing off,
And it
looks
if
pretty
only
bad.
the dog bite
And then
later
you know
on.
like what
looked just as
happened. And
good.
it's
It
even
is
worse.
just strange how this movie, like, we decided
don't.
to visit this movie the week that Dune came out.
I tried to make that joke earlier.
There's a lot of
and
similarities.
It didn't hit. It
quite
didn't
laugh.
hit this time either, Kyle.
Trying to
don't
make
worry.
like a Shai Hulud reference.
Because that child actor in that scene in
Yeah,
the
that's
pool, that's
Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, I knew I saw her
Yep.
somewhere.
Yeah,
He
The girl is.
still has that scar.
yeah, still has those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he still,
that
he
was
still
real.
has those,
that-
yeah, that actually wasn't part of the film.
I love that the parents didn't age
But they
it
filmed it
all.
and put it in. Yeah.
Like they're like the
just
exact
got
same.
cool.
Oh yeah, they don't have the budget for that.
What is their deal? Like the parents seem very uninterested in the kids, and then at the very end are like very interested.
That's just
and
parents.
it turns out bad for them.
Not just parents, man.
Just
maybe.
abandon your kids. Come on, like it doesn't seem like you like them that much. Take up golfing.
Just
Yeah, you moved next door to a power plant. Like, how
Yeah, how
worried
could
about
you
their
like
safety
your
are you,
priorities?
Yeah, not stressed out about it. Can we talk about the, let's put ourselves in this headspace. Imagine you are an animal wrangler, for movies and whatnot, and you get a call one day. You've been waiting for this fucking call. You constantly, like, send out dogs and cats, sometimes an errant chimpanzee, but one day you get the holy grail of calls. You're like, hello? Crab? Yeah, I got an onset crab for you. I'll send it right over. What capacity do you need this crab? I'm sorry, what? You're gonna do what with You're gonna have this crab tap dance on a severed dick? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
He's good to go.
Do you need a little
been
hat
training
for
this
him?
for
He
his
has a
whole
little
life.
hat.
He's got a hat and cane. He does. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Yeah.
Give me your cutest crustacean.
I do just wish we would have seen more teeth.
yeah.
Yeah.
You wish you could have seen the actual. Yeah,
Is that crass?
there's not
Is
enough
it
of that.
crass?
That's for sure. Although,
That's worse for some reason. It's definitely worse.
well, I think you expect it going into this movie, right? That's one thing I did expect to see.
What's worse though? I don't know, because for me, and I've had this conversation with people recently, but the word, like, the P word, that seems so much more crass than coochie even. Like, what do we call it?
Coochie seems kind of like cute.
Yeah,
right? It's like, we can call it that.
sounds like a butterfly.
right.
The coochie butterfly.
I can't.
Meat grinds, yeah.
Yeah, that's not. I don't think
I
I
don't
like
know.
I
that.
don't like that one either.
Nope. We'll take that one off the list.
Not quite the.
Yeah, Mitch is like, I just said it so you guys wouldn't say it because, like,
Yeah.
obviously.
I didn't mean it. You meant it. You know?
Yeah.
So I
obviously
guess
you
we're
guys
just
are
are
actually
gonna have to
fucking-
call it a vagina. But I feel like a vagina. I feel like that's also a weird word. You know.
Gaping axe wound it is. So we'll just move forward with that one. That's fine. So, Mitch, specifically for you, I want your thoughts on this. The kid who plays Toby, who's the kid that attacks her under the waterfall. She has a crush on him and like kind of
The
bites
singer
off
of
him.
Real Friends. Yes. Okay. Continue.
Yeah. So, do you think he looks like Wes Borland,
Oh
the
my
guitarist from
God.
Limp Bizkit? New album out in
Yeah.
stores right now. Go get Limp Bizkit.
I can't
Still
believe
sucks.
we haven't talked about that
fantastic.
yet, Brent. Like it's Brent literally texted me as I was listening to the first song on the new Limp Bizkit album, and it was him just messaging me being like, 911, there's a new Limp Bizkit album out, and I screenshotted it. I was like,
actually
I'm literally already
looks like
listening.
him.
We are a hive mind.
I'm sorry that I'm a
It's
good
true.
friend, okay?
But
Then I would do that.
he really
you know?
looks like
I'm
it.
looking
You're
out.
right.
It's not
Good
good
looking
though.
out.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's not. I know. I
Oh
like
my
a couple
God, Mitch.
songs. I like a couple songs because a couple of them are really fun, but then a couple of them, it's like, oh my God, Limp Bizkit, stop trying to be serious.
Maybe you need to continue listening to it an amount of times that would equal the runtime of 4 Snyder Cuts, and then get back to me.
Boom, roasted. That was really good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water is the greatest album of all time. Let me be crystal fucking clear about that.
Yeah. I like that there's somebody holding a butthole up to the viewer
Yes.
on that cover.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
Also, because like the starfish that is meaning the butt.
That's like Dune, right? Get
Hey,
it?
do you guys find it weird that they can show chopped off dicks in this, but that guy will not take his girlfriend's bra off?
That guy,
asking
that just
the real
opens up the
hard-
series of issues that guy has. You know, that's besides the point. That's way
it was
besides
just
the
it was
point.
very confused. Like I didn't need to see boobs in this. I was just very confused that it's like most movies don't show dinguses.
So wait,
And this one's showing chopped dinguses, like very well
3 of
detailed,
them.
like we'd mentioned.
Yeah.
so
And
Boozy,
you even see one get chewed upon. But this dude is just like, no, keep it on. I just want everyone to see my tattoos.
so if you're saying like if you're saying that like you just like I just didn't need to see boobs in this one, does that mean there's films where you need to see the boobs?
Absolutely.
Okay, understood.
Well,
I
I
had
think-
to clarify.
That new Addams Family movie, I got to see it. Morticia, please, girl, I'm begging.
Animators be horny.
For your pleasure.
This
Clearly,
is the
for your
second time you've mentioned something
No,
animated being
I mentioned it the
attractive, so I'm
first
just
time,
gonna-
but I love Brent bringing it back.
Bring it back. Also, a Limp Bizkit song. Check it out. Gold Cobra in stores now.
pleasure. Wow.
This is my dog.
On Young Money
This is
Records.
my dog right here.
Or Cash Money.
Cash
They're
Money,
plugging
yeah.
their last album. Shout out 2013's Gold Cobra.
I love how our conversation on teeth, surprise, surprise, is complete fucking nonsense.
Hey, this is their episode. You guys direct this as you want. This is your guys' time to shine.
Do you guys
Hey, you know what? Not only is this episode off the rails, but I paid for it. I did this. I did this to all of us.
That's a good point.
This is
Yeah.
from me.
How does it feel?
To us?
I appreciate it, Brent.
You're welcome.
There's no refunds.
Did you guys kind of feel like this one was sort of like Juno in a weird way?
Don't. This is so much better than Juno.
I'm interested.
I fucking hate Juno.
What?
Michael Cera ruined
Oh.
indie music for me for a bit.
Oh man, I still like Sarah.
I never got into metric 'cause I'm not a fucking nerd and I don't look like Michael.
Okay. Ooh, this third Limp Bizkit album is the best album of all time, but I am not a nerd. Make that clear. Whatever you say, buddy.
Kyle, new
I
metal's
am a
cool
walking-
again. You
Hey,
need to get over
I'm-
it. When the fucking indie revival happens, you and the fucking Arkells can all have a
I'm
party.
just saying. I don't think anyone on this podcast here should be saying who is and is not a nerd. Let's just make that pretty clear.
Very true.
We are a bunch of white guys podcasting.
Whoa,
You already
whoa,
know.
whoa.
Like,
Easy.
Mostly, but not entirely.
That's what I was talking about before, like where I was like, Brent, you can't talk before we start going because Brent has always referred to Kyle as White Diego.
Yeah.
Depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so teeth.
Teeth.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this film really tackles the ownership and acceptance of one's sexuality in a really smart and engaging way. I found
I
that
agree, Kyle,
Brad
I do.
jamming Immortal Dominion strictly as loud as he possibly could while his door was open in every scene really struck a chord about how depraved he is as a human being. And I think that kind of
I
reflected...
think Kyle is reading Teeth for Dummies. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, someone had to.
Oh.
Okay, so let's see here.
Brett can't read, so that's okay.
Yeah, it's
what
not
else
me.
do I got here? I'm just reading my notes now. Okay, musical
was
choices
that
are...
dude not listening to Pantera?
I Shazammed it. It was a band called Immortal Dominion.
They didn't have the that was what my one note about this was the music, and it wasn't about like that kind of music, but I imagine they didn't have a large budget for that. The going back to Mitch's point earlier on, whatever he said, like revisiting this movie, it's actually like says something, and like he kind of liked it more. I remember showing people this movie all the time because it was so silly and stupid. And then rewatching it now, I was like, oh, actually, some of it's really well done, and I really like it. But the music is so over-the-top silly sometimes, like the score, that it really takes me out of it. I'm like, if this was rescored, it actually would be a much better movie in my eyes.
I actually completely agree with you. The music is probably the worst part of this film. Beyond that, I like really fuck with this movie. Really enjoy it, to
It's
be
so
honest.
funny how the scope of time, if you look at this movie, like as we've gone on, having seen it long ago and then rewatching, it's like,
Right.
oh, it actually has something to say. It's not just a toothy vagina.
Yeah, see, and we only got another 10 or 15 years until you all understand
God.
Joker. So
Can we just like go 20 minutes without
Mitch's evil juggalo phase is coming in nicely.
Do not lump ICP with the Joker. To me, those are two different fields. I have to stand up for the last
Just
bit of
clowns being
counterculture that
clowns.
we accept, and that is ICPC.
ICP.
It's an AC/DC tribute band where they dress like ICP.
That would be so confusing.
Oh man.
We are killing it. This is a great review of like
this is going to be a nightmare to edit.
People really get a good breadth
be an
of what it is,
absolute
you know?
I don't know how much you could say of it. Like there's I think there's a smart person out there who could tell you about how this is about a woman flourishing and experiencing the hardships of
Kyle
growing
and Steven
up
tried.
and the exploring sexuality.
Those are
But
literally
at the
most of
same
my
time-
notes. Those are honestly all my notes.
But at the same time, there was a really cute Rottweiler in
And
this movie.
he munches on some good dong. Like that's one of the highlights in the movie.
Well, he at least waited till it was off of it. Like he'd probably been fucking like
Well, that's
lining
because
that
of-
thing up for a long time. He's like, I'm gonna fucking eat that
But
dog
have
someday.
any of you ever had to deal with something like? Okay, I know how ridiculous that sounds just now. But no,
dog-eating monster?
For example, let's rewind back to Mitch Oliver, 2006. I'm at a ska concert.
Is this
I'm at a ska?
PD?
Yeah, no, this was after I was already circumcised at this point. Oh,
No.
the divorce.
We're talking about
the
divorce. Is this
Yeah.
after divorce
This
or
is way
pre-divorce?
after the divorce.
That makes perfect
Okay.
sense. Then.
I was at a ska concert,
Checks out.
Yeah. Okay.
and my
Checks
front
out.
tooth got knocked out by my friend Jarrett. And
you guys were what's it called? What's
picking
the
it
Subway?
up, pick it up,
Yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, ska.
Yeah, what do they do?
100
What
gex.
do you guys do at
Yeah, we're
Shuffle?
mosh pitting.
What's it called? Skeeting?
Anyway.
What do they do? There's a
Skanking.
skanking.
skanking?
Thank
I'm
you.
telling you, you need to find your tooth. The broken part of your tooth, you got to find it on the floor. Now imagine that being your dick. That's a bad day. That's a bad day in Soho. Where you're like,
Whoa. How small is your dick that it would be hard to find like a piece of a chip tooth?
That's
you know what?
for a
That's
whole
fine.
other
for all the little
conversation,
dick people
Uncalled
who
for.
might be listening to this, power to
I'm
you.
just saying.
Called for.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, for all the listeners.
You look-
Yeah,
that's good.
You look at the gynecologist who has all four of his fingers getting sewn back on in the movie. it's not going to work. Like, obviously his fingers aren't going to work, but like I had to look for my little piece of my tooth. Can you imagine getting your dick bitten off? Well, obviously I can't because I'm not a rapist piece of shit like this guy from Huxley Workman. Does he not look like the guy from Huxley Workman? I love Huxley Workman also. But like
he kind of does. He kind of does a little bit.
And yeah, like I like how Brent. I couldn't remember that. I was like, where do I know this fucking guy from? And it's Nip Tuck. You are 100% right. That is Matt McNamara. That is the son. And he gets into some wild shenanigans. Nip Tuck, shout out.
Shout out Nip Tuck.
Shout out.
In case you're missing.
Creators of Nip Tuck, if you're hearing this.
All right.
That guy made Glee. You did.
No.
Kyle, you actually have notes, hey?
Nip Tuck. Oh, I got a lot of notes on this movie. Probably more than
Okay, well, let's...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The creator of Nip Tuck did make Glee. That's right.
Okay. All right.
I just need to know, like,
And he also-
what
yeah.
deep thoughts
Also did
did
teeth.
you have, Kyle?
Well, to be honest, I just thought this movie was like... I thought it's like a really silly premise, obviously, but I think it handles it in a way that, like, at times it's like pretty campy, obviously, like with like the crab scene and stuff like that, and mostly when the music comes in and it's a little like over the top, kind of like what you were talking about, Steven, where it feels misplaced.
Mm-hmm.
And like I assume that's intentional. I don't really know, but like beyond that, there's that. Yeah, I think there's a pretty good commentary. Like more or less, it's a coming of age story tackled in a really grotesque way with like a really specific angle. And that's one I've never seen before and probably never will. But I think for the most part, the way it handles it is pretty, like, I don't want to say careful, but I think it's considerate. It's considerate in a pretty fair way. And it held up way better than I thought. Like, I remember just saying, fuck, this movie's so crazy. But I always remember the last scene of the film where it's like, when she's with that old man,
Brent
and it's
Hibbard.
like, oh, fuck, well now... But like now she's
It's a great power dynamic.
I was like, okay, well now she's out for blood, basically. Like she went through that bullshit, and like now like that's where it ends. And I remember even when I had seen it the first time, I was like, oh, okay, like that's kind of a cool angle to a cool note to leave it on. And I think that actually is a great way to end this film on, because you kind of like you watch her struggle trying to figure out what the fuck to do with her life, because it's clearly a mess in many ways. And no one else can ever relate with it. But I think, I don't know. For the most part,
it's a great hero's journey. Honestly, she takes care of all the loose ends.
Speaking of better,
her brother has a gun for no reason.
Speaking of better endings, though, for this movie, and also better like musical choices. Like, imagine, how when she looks over at him and like it's clear that she's like, oh yeah, I'm about to bite this guy's dick off. Imagine if this song played. All right, so I'm here for the sequel rights of Teeth, but
oh, that's the thing, is I need a sequel to this. I feel like it really set up a whole, like this was like right before Iron Man came out and stuff, right? Like this is like cinematic universes. We didn't have them yet, but I need the Teeth universe.
Not only was this pre Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is pre iPhone as well. That's why everybody has these like brick phones they're talking on. Imagine all of the like Snapchats she could send. You know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially if she could teach it to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Steven,
Imagine the filters she could use.
You just growing up and having a very similar childhood, can you relate with a lot of what's going on in the film and exploring your sexuality?
Yes.
That's cool, man.
Perfect. I really appreciate you being here.
Affliction,
so thanks everyone for listening.
My whole affliction was that my dick head actually has taste buds on it, so it's mainly just tasting like cotton, sometimes denim. There's one time that there was a zipper incident, and I had to stop chewing on pennies for a long time. It really traumatized me. Just that worn out old copper taste. But
did you ever just like rub it on like a couch?
Tonight? Yeah, I did it like earlier before we started recording. I had a few extra minutes. I was like, well, I better knock this out real quick. Because again, like I don't know what my wife has going on down there anymore. Like this whole movie is called That Into Question. I'm like, well, this couch, as far as I'm aware, is okay. But then like after I skied it, I was like, oh fuck, you remember Cherry on Pee-wee's Playhouse? That had teeth, so now that's ruined for me. So I'm like, well fuck, what else am I supposed to do? So, the struggle is real.
It sounds like it. Honestly, it sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle has just slowly shrunk this whole episode.
So, anyways, I'll be running
It's
for
his
office
couch.
soon, and if you guys could all vote for me, it doesn't matter where you come from. Just talk to the Russians; they'll funnel you right through.
That's Brent's campaign slogan. It doesn't matter where you come from or on.
Yeah,
just
see you
funnel
win.
it right through.
That's right. Come funnel. Get with it. Hashtag come funnel. Vote for me.
Oh my god. Awesome. Okay, Steven, do you have anything you want to add on Teeth before we close up shop today?
I really liked it all over again. It was way better than I remembered. I remember it just being stupid fun, and it actually was a much better movie than I expected. And now I want to watch it again and show more people.
What about you guys? Like Kyle, obviously, I think I saw Kyle's Letterboxd review, and I was just like, yeah, I feel like we give it a little bit of a different review, but it's the same type of thing where I underestimated how actually kind of good this movie is. Like it's good at what it's doing. It's obviously it's not like this isn't masterful by any means, but it is kind of like a pretty groundbreaking movie for its time, and I think it's one that's going to kind of age pretty well in a weird way.
I
think it has a cult following, honestly.
That makes sense. That checks out. I feel the exact same way because like I thought for sure this was going to be a lot sillier. Like I remembered it being a lot sillier and a little bit more hokey, and it is obviously a little bit, but for the most part, I think it's great.
Yeah, awesome. Brent, Anthony. Wow, that felt so weird.
Hello.
I haven't called
Weird.
Boozy Anthony in years. How are you guys feeling? Do you guys let's close up shop tonight. What are your final thoughts on Teeth?
You go ahead first.
I enjoyed it. It's very much an entertaining movie. I'd planned to watch it in like 30-minute chunks, and I did that the first half hour. I watched it
One for each dick.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, double. I have multiple dicks. I don't know if we've talked about it, right? But anyway, can't get into all that. We have no time. But I was I watched the first half hour before bed one night, and I planned on watching the second half hour last night. But I ended up finishing the whole thing because it's just that entertaining. You know, even some of the sexual assault stuff, even though it's hard to watch, once you get through it, it's like it's worth it because, like you were saying, Stephen, and I will blame you for this. It's fun to watch her get revenge on all these fellas, if that is, you know, like her come up, and that's what it is. And I will say that I think we can all agree that Teeth is better than Mad Max Fury Road. Over to you, Boozy.
Okay, well, I'll follow that up by saying, Teeth is definitely a movie. I don't dislike this movie at all. I think it's fine. It's like a straight up like 50% for me. I don't. A lot of it's not that interesting for me, and the kills or whatever. But it tells a cool story. I think it does a good job. Like kind of Kyle had mentioned, it basically does follow a very cool like hero's journey, and it has a great finish to it. It leaves you on a high note, which is great. It makes you afraid of vaginas, so if anyone has young children who are getting into that exploratory age, maybe show them this. It'll regress them a couple
This is like the Requiem for a Dream, but of vaginas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, no one was going butt to butt for years after that movie.
I actually, after Halloween, I went ahead and bought a costume on sale that's a giant pair of pussy teeth. So I'm going to dress as that for next Halloween. So 2020, it's going to be my year, I think.
Sound like you're going to be the worst Bond villain. I'm pussy teeth.
He's like John.
Or the best Bond villain.
You're going to be so tired all night. Who are you? Oh, I'm Pussy Teeth. Remember?
You know, pussy teeth.
It's like pillow pants.
If we still named our episode
from,
after stuff,
Two,
this would be
know?
called pussy teeth, probably.
Oh, that's a good point. We used to do
More
that.
likely.
All right. Well, yeah, I already.
That or cum funnel. Go ahead, Mitch, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just one of those movies that I underestimated. I think that there's a lot of really cool things about this movie. I think it's actually pretty well made for what it is, and it's one of those ones that gets made. It gets what's the word? Like it's devalued by the comic factor of it all. Like it is like it's a pretty goofy movie. It is
Like our
What's
review
that?
of it. Like our
Exactly.
reviews of it.
Either way, I hope people enjoyed listening to this. I'm definitely like a lukewarm fan of Teeth. I think that it's got enough to say to exist being where it's at. But I think it is at this point. I almost think that it's kind of underestimated. Like I think people should give this one another look and kind of see what it has to say. But thank you guys so much for coming on the show, Brent and Steven. Really appreciate it. But
Thank you.
Seriously, Brent.
Thanks
Seriously,
for having us.
Brent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for contributing to the Druid's Hand Kickstarter. You helped me achieve a dream of mine, and I know we've been joking a lot. This is the first episode where we've had one of the perks speakers come on the show, like people who purchased a perk to come on the show. Didn't expect anybody to do this. You were one of the first people who did it. And as much as we just joke around, we goof around and all that kind of shit on the show, and I'm a big fan of your show. I really appreciate you contributing and helping me get my project made. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. But still, I think Jesse Plumpkins is the best way to go. Fat Damon, again, just to reiterate, just so when people see the poll, they can vote with the right headspace in mind. So make sure, vote Jesse Plumpkins, vote Cum Funnel. I'm Brent Hibbard. God bless Canada.
All right. And
Canada,
follow us
indeed.
on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Or check us out on our website at www.theterrortable.com. And until then, check out Let's Talk About Stuff. Where can people follow you guys both individually and as a podcast?
Steve. Oh, okay. You can follow Let's Talk About Stuff. You can actually listen to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast apps. We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, others. You follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LTASpod, which stands for Let's Talk About Stuff. Just a coincidence. We're just typing some random characters in there, dude. Hell yeah, brother. And then you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Brent Hibbard. Steven?
Yeah, you can follow me at StephenFisher22 on Twitter.
And Letterboxd. Don't forget that.
I do say that.
Has anyone ever done that joke where it's like, is the other 21
Listen,
taken?
I fought for 22, okay? I actually had to kill the other 21 to get that.
It's like a Highlander.
But I wasn't allowed their usernames.
It's like a Highlander situation.
It was a Highlander situation, yes. But yeah, I'm on Letterboxd a little bit. I haven't written a review in a long time, but
Get on it.
But yeah,
Get
I know
on
you
it.
guys
Get
are
back
kind
to
of
it.
on there too. So
Let's do it. I'll
Yeah,
read
right
it.
on.
I'll thumbs it up. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
I won't. I'm gonna thumbs it down.
drop
I
mine for
don't even
sure.
have
I'll
an active
definitely
letterbox. I don't even know. I don't even know if that's possible. But yeah, our podcast it's called Let's Talk About Stuff. It's a stupid but fun pop culture show. It's like this, but we say pussy way less.
You've said
so
pussy
enjoy
more than
that.
anyone on this show has ever said it.
Well, you know what? And I paid for it.
Yeah, and with a decidedly hard P.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
I know, and that's with the popper stopper on my microphone. You know,
All right.
I had to pop those pussies.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week on The Terror Table.